Hello and welcome to the Neon Caster Twitch channel. I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. Thank you so much for joining us once again for another session of Cyberpunk Book Club. Yes. For those who do not know what Cyberpunk Book Club is, on this channel we do enjoy a good video game. However, I am not good at playing video games especially well or quickly. You're not about to go and see me at Evo or Games Done Quick anytime soon, but what we can do, what I do enjoy doing, is discussing video games as media texts, because all art is political and discusses ideas about those who create it and the world. So on Cyberpunk Book Club we specifically play games in the cyberpunk genre, my favorite genre, for a handful of hours, then kind of discuss the themes that we saw in them, and on the other side of it, see if there are any ideas in those games that we can take away to inspire the art that we create in our own time, whether that is video games or tabletop RPGs like me, or if you're drawing art, or if you're writing stories. One of the best ways you can get inspiration and broaden your own horizons is to consume a wider range of things. Yes, indeed. What we're going to be playing tonight for an hour or two is a visual novel called DRAMAtical Murder. A gay romance visual novel by Nitro Chiral. Nitro are pretty famous for doing, a Japanese company for doing visual novels, especially like eroge elemented visual novels, and Nitro Chiral is their I guess kind of like yaoi or gay romance division. They do not have many games underneath that section. I think there are only maybe 2 or 3, but DRAMAtical Murder in particular is a cyberpunk psychological thriller in addition to being a gay romance, which actually I think is pretty dang cool. Yes indeed. There are a handful of Japanese visual novels from back in the day, that are pretty well known for sparking entire pretty big name franchises of their own. Stuff like Tsukihime, the Type Moon visual novels like Tsukihime and Fate Stay Night are incredibly popular and actually have their bases in being eroge games. Then there's really, let's say, provocative titles like Song of Sire that are very, very difficult going, quite triggering material, but they're lauded for the quality of their writing. And I think that, you know, in a world where people go and talk about Song of Sire being really high quality and quite powerful visual novel writing, and you go and think about the wider impact of games like Tsukihime and Fate Stay Night, and then people go and be incredibly quiet about games like DRAMAtical Murder, because even though they have just about the same amount of explicit content in them, this is a gay romance, and that's no, we're not going to take that seriously because there are gays in it, and we're not about that in this house. This game, which I played an unofficial translation of some years ago, a single root of it, and it blew my mind. I was actually really, really impressed with how it was as a story, and it influenced a handful of projects that I had since, and was kind of like, well, this game is actually really hard to be able to get hold of and play properly if you're an English speaker, and because of the explicit nature of some of the latter parts of that game, very difficult to share with others in a format like this where we are streaming on the internet. I do believe that in the past one known gay game designer and artist Robert Yang, I think, once streamed DRAMAtical Murder on Twitch and got hit with a ban hammer because some of the explicit content in it. So Twitch has a very fraught relationship with this game historically. But the writing and the world building, the cyberpunk world that this game takes place in is really, really good, and I think really heavily heavily slept on. Because there is now an official English release, an official English localization, the demo of which is available right now on Steam, I figured I could play through the demo, which I know will definitely cover the early world building. At least the first hour of it is mostly setting and introduction of characters and nothing saucy. So I can go play through that and show you some of the really cool world building that this game does, and it's really good music, and it's like really crisp, vibrant art style. And then those who want to be able to find out more about that game can go and buy the game for real when it releases, I think, later this summer. So yeah, I wanted to go and share my enthusiasm with this game with y'all, and then hopefully if this tickles your fancy, you can go give this a bit of a whirl yourself. So before we get into the game content directly, what is this game? Taken directly from the kind of like a Steam listing, this box text, Alba's vibrant cyberpunk world is one of contrasts. High-tech virtual reality battles versus street gang turf wars, ultra-exclusive luxury resorts, and tiny junk shops. The choices you make will shape the path of Alba's journey into the dark secrets lurking beneath the glossy sheen of the city. Which, you know, is a very classic definition of cyberpunk, is high-tech, low-life, and this game has that in spades. It very, very much is about exploring some of the wealth disparity of this game world and the people that exist within it, which is very fun. I do enjoy that indeed. Indeed. In fact, let's go and actually talk about some of the themes that we expect. Having played through one of the routes of this game, the noise route, I do actually know some of the themes that we will personally encounter, but that was genuinely years ago, more than 5 years ago, and some of the finer plot points have vanished from my brain. My hair is absolutely crazy today. I just realized, goodness me, I did camera tests, like just make sure that my webcam worked before I went live, but I didn't necessarily check to see the state that my fro was in. It is absolutely wild this evening, but that's fine. I think that's the energy we're going to be going into this game with anyway. The themes that we expect in this game, well, there is the classic high tech, low life definition of cyberpunk. No. We do have music. It's not monitored in my ears. I was like, oh man, are we getting vibes? I just realized that I've been yelling into what is in my ears silence. Let me just make sure that I can also hear that. I'll turn up it. There we go. Now it doesn't feel like I'm just yelling into the void. Good times. Definitely the kind of high-tech, low-life definition of cyberpunk. And the role of police in such a society. There is indeed a cop who features quite prominently in the opening of this game, if I recall. And there is definitely discussions about how the people in the setting respond to that kind of presence. There is also the discussion of youth, street culture, and gang warfare through a shonen lens. And I would say, well, shonen / seinen lens. For those who are not familiar with those terms, I think I spelled seinen correctly. Oh no, I didn't. Way to show my ass, Google. Thank you. For those who are not familiar with the terms of shonen and seinen, those are two particular genres of Japanese kind of anime or manga. Shonen is kind of action content aimed at young men, boys. You would consider Naruto a shonen. You would consider Pokemon to be a shonen show. Seinen is aimed at young men to adults rather than kind of like teenagers and kids. So seinen would be something like... Ooh, I would say that Psychopaths is a very good seinen. Kakegurui is a good seinen, where there is more. There is maybe an action element, but it is kind of taken a step back in favor of drama and psychological thriller. And I think Dramatical Murder definitely straddles that line between shonen and seinen. The subject matter is definitely within the realms of seinen. This is very much a psychological thriller. At its most serious in places, but we have vibrant anime boys, and they fight in using a virtual reality video game, and that kind of bit is like shonen as fuck. This is a really interesting straddling of those two genres that definitely comes up in here. Almost all of the main characters are involved in street gangs and that kind of youth culture through the lens of, I want to say, 2006. Let me check actually when Dramatical Murder initially came out. This is actually quite an old game. Oh no, way later than I expected. It initially released in 2012, which is, still a decade ago. Or near enough a decade ago. 2012 is quite a ways away. But, so not as old. It's actually surprisingly contemporary. And I think that is actually kind of reflected in its character designs and like that. It doesn't feel, the street culture it discusses doesn't feel as old as, say, The World Ends With You, which is very, very much a video game about street culture, but is very firmly released and toned as being in 2006, 2007. And this is much more contemporary than that, but still, quite a while away ago now. I'm old. We're all old. What other themes does this discuss? This is a half memory, and I'm not quite sure how much of it comes up in the nature of the demo that we will be playing today, but there is definitely themes of virtual reality, digitized business, and the corruption of memory. Which is an interesting bit of dovetailing from some of the games we've been playing recently. We were playing... we were playing the demo of Neurodiver earlier this week, which is about diving into, psychically into the minds of people and then seeing their memories being corrupted and putting them back together again. And I was talking about how I off air was playing the likes of Amori, which is all about kind of using one's subconscious to build a world and all that kind of thing. And that with Dramatical Murder doesn't dive as deep into that kind of topic, but there is definitely discussion of virtual reality, one's personhood, and how one's personhood may change if left to be corrupted over the likes of things like the internet, which I think is maybe not necessarily ahead of its time, but it's definitely pushing spaces that I think would have been really edgy in 2012. I think those themes we might not necessarily hit on in great detail within this demo. As I understand, the demo reaches far enough into the game until it starts bifurcating into the various hot boys that we can pair with. And actually, that is the other theme. Hot boys. Because even though this is a cyberpunk psychological thriller, at its heart it is a gay romance. There are multiple gay men or queer men. I'm not actually necessarily sure if they're all exclusively gay, so it might be bi or pan. But there are a wide variety of attractive anime men that the main character Alba can smooch and do more things than just smooch over the course of the game. And there are different routes for these characters, and we'll be meeting all of these characters over the course of the demo, and there'll be a point where you can like choose to pair up with one, and then the rest of the game kind of like follows that particular pathway, and I don't think the demo goes that far. Actually, before we get into it, I should probably mention, I told myself that I would go and give the demo a bit of a whirl before I played it on air, just in case we accidentally saw like a male presenting nipple or anything like that. And I am actually pretty dang confident that unless they change things in the demo to put some of that content up front, we are very, very unlikely to run into any of it. And if we are going to run into it, we will be getting some warnings in the text that is going to be leaning that way. So while I would say that this is a particularly explicit stream for those who are watching it in the future, I have a feeling there are probably not many people right now who are necessarily interested in that. I will probably remind as we go forward that is a thing to kind of be aware of. But there is some sauciness, but I don't think there's going to be any explicitness. One of the characters in the cast who we can date, Mink, is definitely an abusive person. He is a gang leader and a terrible person and very physically violent to our main character. And we can date him anyway in one of the routes, which, you know, not healthy. In fact, some of the other games that Nitro Chiral has put out before are considerably harder leaning into the kind of like toxic, violent, physically and sexually abusive relationships. As far as I played in DRAMAtical Murder, it is not that spicy. But content warnings are content warnings are content warnings. I do believe that the Steam version of DRAMAtical Murder is going to be the censored version, so you are unlikely, if you were to go and buy the game yourself, if this interests you, if you buy it via Steam, you are unlikely to run into the actual explicit content, but some of the text discussions might veer into territory that might be difficult or triggering. So I'm going to remind us of that now, and then as we go into the game, if we start approaching any of that territories, if we do actually start discussing with Mink on camera, I will also give a warning for that part where we proceed. Okay, I do believe that is all the preamble that I need to make, done in 20 minutes, which is roughly around the time that this takes. With that, shall we get into gameplay footage? Let's jump over there. There we go. Yes. Some of the visuals are a little bit funky. Oh, the volume is going to be really high as well. Let me go and turn the volume of things down. Let's turn it to about there. It remembered I booted this game early just to make sure that the game would run nice and safely and not freak out. God, the HUD of this, like the general art direction of this game, even in its menus, is real nice. Like, look at that. Ooh, very good. Yeah, so I've turned the voices off so we can do the voices. I think it would be a much less exciting stream if I just kind of like let it run and then I vocally reacted to them speaking. No. We're going to do the voices ourselves. It's all good. I think there was a little bit of a warning of this game being prone to crashing occasionally. So we're going to be careful and mindful of that. And trying to manually save every so often. We're going to try and do that. But if it does crash, I apologize. We should be fine though. We should be fine. You finally came. I've been waiting for so long. Come. Quickly. Destroy. 'Destroy me. 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 ' power. I must admit, when that P appeared alone, I was like, oh, are we getting into the sauciness immediately? But no, destroy with your power. We start as we mean to go on, ladies and gentlemen, in the non-binary. Oh, who is this? Strapping lad. Strapping lad? There we go. Hello, thank you for calling Humdrum Junk. May I be of service? Oh, the text box is misbehaving. Oh, right, no, it's this. I have a quick question. Oh, the spacebar hides the text box. I was kind of like, what's going on? I have a quick question. Go right ahead. Do you carry custom parts for S2's type Allmates? Yes, we do. We happen to have some in stock right now. Oh, really? I see. Thank you very much. Would you like to place an order? Oh, no. Well, sir? Well, I know how this is going to sound, but... Yes? I was wondering if maybe we could meet up after work today? Excuse me? Oh, no, how should I put it? It's that voice. You have a very, a nice voice, Sizzle. Oh, thank you. I'm very flattered. By the way, sir, I just thought of something that might interest you. Oh, sure. You mentioned S2 type custom parts? It turns out we're expecting a shipment of brand new parts for that series soon. And we just so happen to be accepting pre-orders, but only for our most loyal customers. Would you be interested? It looks like they're going to be popular. I wouldn't be surprised if they sell out right away. If you pre-order, you won't have to worry about missing out. But of course, because this opportunity is only for our most special customers, if you do place a pre-order, I could do a little something extra for you. Extra? Yes, extra. Then by all means, I'll pre-order. Fantastic. If you could just send your personal data over. Thank you very much. Your pre-order has been placed. We hope you'll continue shopping with us in the future. Of course. Thanks. I hang up the phone and let out a huge sigh. Even when I know what they're up to, dealing with customers who want something other than spare parts is always a pain. Your voice is so wonderful. I just have to meet you. I get that sort of thing over the phone surprisingly often. Just hearing my voice makes them want to meet me. What kind of guy says that to another guy? In the beginning, I just shrugged it off, but it really started to bother me after a while. Then one day, out of frustration, I tried using it to push product, and it worked. Ever since, I've used it to improve my sales. That phone call just now was a good example. Strangely enough, it doesn't happen in person. Some customers have actually come looking for me after a call, but they always pretend like I don't know what they're talking about. I just realized that I'm probably in a position to move my mic closer to myself. Give me a moment. I'm just going to do that by lowering my input capture so you don't hear that happen. There we go. Now I don't have to lean into the mic for you to hear me in ASMR vision. Much better. There we go. They all leave without realizing that I'm the person they spoke to over the phone. Nothing bad has actually happened, so I figure no harm, no foul. Whew. Okay, the manager should be back soon. While stretching, I glanced at the digital clock on the counter. This is Humdrum Junk, a shop that carries everything from Humdrum Junk, a shop that carries everything from basic supplies to specialized parts, all at rock bottom prices. I do believe in well, actually, I can read the at least non-kanji up there. We have Junk shop Haybon. Junk shop Haybon. Yes, junk shop Haybon. That's definitely what I remember. Oh man, I've been taking like very, very slowly over the last year. It's almost been exactly 1 year actually. Setting aside days that I've lapsed Duolingo, and I've mostly used it to teach myself hiragana and katakana, and then the actual kind of like learning sentences lessons have been really boring and I don't like doing them. But I'm actually really proud of myself of having been able to teach myself just the small amount of Japanese that I do know. I mean, it makes me, in the grand scheme of things, my knowledge of actual conversational Japanese is very, very tiny. But I don't know, baby steps, baby steps. The dorky name was what drew me in. Just how long has it been since I started working here anyway? A while, that's for sure. Got a message. I'm leaning on the counter, spacing out, when the coil on my arm beeps. A coil is like a mobile phone, but better. You can make calls, send texts, watch TV, pay for things, and even use it as an ID, all in one little machine. Let's see. Incoming mail. Damsel in distress. Is this some new viral ad? Like, the adult kind? I'm sure the rest of it says something like, I'm in trouble. Only a big, strong man like you could save me. Delete. Suddenly, something slams into my side. I fall from the chair, and something heavy lands on my back. 3 voices giggle overhead. I know right away who it is. Alba's wide open. Like a book. So lame. Kyo, now, Mio. Why, you little... It's Kyo, now, and Mio, a trio of siblings from the neighborhood whose only purpose, it seems, is to make my life hell. Hold on. There is actually voiceover when they introduce new characters, and that's kind of nice, so I want to turn that bit on. High text, autoplay, skip, fast skip. No, don't want any of that. Open save load menu on D. Glossary, toggle fill screen, config menu on C. Okay. There we go. We do want volumes then. But we want to turn off Alba, Kojaku, noise, mink, clear. We kind of want others available. I'll see how much is actually voiced of these. And then if it gets annoying, we'll turn them off. Because some of the incidental voice acting, I suppose, is nice. We'll see if they actually speak. How many times have I told you this isn't a playground? Don't you kids listen? Yeah, Japanese voice acting. Okay, we're gonna turn off all of this. It's neat that the entire game is voiced, though. When you're playing it casually in your own time, having other voices is amazing, but we want the others. That's probably going to be like non-named NPCs, but it should hopefully also be the narrator when like it does the character splashes, because that's good. We like those. Huh? No way. Now I must have gotten a look at my coil. The other two climb up my back, trying to get a peek. Can't breathe. Get off me, you idiots. Dirty email. Alba's a pervert. Grown-ups are so dirty. Nuh-uh, I bet it's someone wanting to buy bad stuff, because this shop is sketchy. Sketchy. This shop sucks. Ugh. I know, let's arrest Alba for being perverted and sketch. Yeah, you're under arrest. Oh my god. You're under arrest. Get off me, you brats. I jump up, shaking them off. Not going to hold back just because they're kids. If I thought scolding them would be accomplishing anything, I'd do it. But this bunch doesn't give a rat's ass what I have to say. I'm going to also turn up the text appearance speed. It is quite slow. There we go. Hey, what's this thing on top of the shelf? It's probably from beating people up. They're scary. Boys mean. As I expected, their attention has already moved on to other things. You guys. Oh, crap. The screen of my coil catches my eye. Download complete? What the hell? I do recall it making a weird noise earlier. Maybe I accidentally pushed a button while I was wrestling with the brats. Hope I didn't download some weird program. Just what I need. Before I can investigate, the old-fashioned bell on the front door rings. Phew, the deliveries were all over the place today. This is Mr. Hager, the owner. Oh, it didn't give me the voiceover. Oh well, I guess no voiceover it is. That's how it be. Sorry I took so long, Albert. Mr. Hager's smile vanished as soon as he sees the kids. I guess that's a natural reaction when you consider the kind of damage they always do. Oh, it's you three. Hello. Kyo, grab that thing. Wait a sec, Huey. Hey-ya! Oh, you're too short. What do you say? No, children. It's dangerous to play inside the shop. You might get hurt. But the brats aren't listening. Just a little more. Yeah. Children. Ah, you're so annoying. Shut up, Baldy. Oops. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. The temperature in the room suddenly drops 10 degrees. Dear, sweet children, I hate to be a bother. But what did you just say? Come on, say it again. The first syllable. Was it bad? I feel bad. My stomach hurts. I'm going home. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. The evil trio dashes from the store. Oh, they came after what? Hey, boss, I just remembered. Good news. I scramble for the words that'll snap him out of it. We've been getting tons of orders from the Series A parts. Parts? Yes, you're amazing. Just like you said, the sales are up 50% from last month. Oh, that's good. Yes, it is. Things are looking up. Sales are doubling. Sales are doubling? Well, that is good news. Should we stock some more? We should stock some more if they're selling that well. I breathe a sigh of relief. That was close. There's no telling what Mr. Hager might do that something sets him off. Finally calm, he straightens his glasses and gives me a tired smile. Goodness, those children are nothing but trouble, aren't they? Yeah, they really are. They might be cute if they weren't so much troublemakers. You said it. No matter how many times I've seen it happen, it's always startling when his personality does a 180 like that. Oh, right. Mr. Hager walks to the counter and grabs, I guess it's Hager. Mr. Hager walks to the counter and grabs a paper bag from the floor. I hate to ask you this, but would you mind dropping this off with the courier service? You can head on home after that. Are you sure? Yes, in fact, I'm expecting someone soon, so I thought I'd close up early. I'll take care of it. I shoulder my bag and take the package from Mr. Hager. From the label, it looks like they're going pretty far. Fortunately, getting it there is the courier's job, not mine. I'm off then. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Be careful. I head outside. According to my coil, it's 3 p.m. The back streets are full of people. There are several routes I could take to get to the courier. While considering what would be the fastest, I reach into my shoulder bag and pull out a soft furry lump. Tiny dog. Teeny tiny dog. The ball of fur is still asleep. I press my palm against his forehead to wake him up. Ren, wake up. At the sound of his name, he promptly opens his eyes. Oba. I remember in the Japanese game, his voice is actually quite deep. Oba. I need to get to the courier. Can you give me the quickest route? Understood. Ren gently touches my upper arm with his paws. Road 241 East is blocked for police inspection. Buses are cancelled for maintenance. It'll be quicker to bypass the North Terminal. Thanks. I pat Ren on the head. He barks and wags his tail. God. The idea of him barking with a deep voice is just so... Let's get going. Oh yeah, we get the opening animation. Hopefully I won't get VOD muted. Developed by Nitro Chiral. This just gives me an opportunity to drink tea. And actually quite old school visual novels all have these kinds of like really heavily animated high production kind of openings, because the rest of the game I guess is so static. They wanted to give it something to be like, we have energy. Good jock. Noise. Mink. Clear. Noise is best boy, by the way. That is Platinum Jail. So fancy, so luxe. Ooh. There's drama, violence, pretty boys. The pixelated effect with the rotating camera is actually very nice. I like that. Very, very anime opening. Running to the left. I sure hope this doesn't VOD mute. It would be really embarrassing. Yes, everyone in the old residential district knows the best way to get around is on foot. Public transportation here is pretty bad. Technically, there are buses, trains, and even taxis available, but they could be cancelled or delayed without notice. Even the roads themselves might be closed without notice, so you hardly see any cars around these days. At most, you might see a taxi waiting in vain or the occasional junker parked on the side of the road. The sidewalks, on the other hand, are always packed. Nothing's more reliable than your own two legs. The old residential district is divided into north, south, east, and west quarters. They're similar, but have some key differences. For example, both my home and Humdrum Junk are located in the east quarter. It's pretty safe compared to the other quarters, and it's easy to get around. It's easy to get your hands on whatever you need. Also, I enjoy that in the CG there is an R18 in case you were under the assumption that this game didn't get spicy at points in its future. The North Quarter's become something of a ghost town ever since it was designated off-limits. It's definitely not the safest place to go. The West Quarter is primarily residential. Like the East Quarter, it doesn't have as many stores. The South Quarter is an entertainment and shopping district, so it's always full of youngsters hanging out. And if you go farther north, past the North Quarter, there's Platinum Jail, where the rich and famous do their business. Platinum Jail is a members-only resort that the Toei Corporation, one of Japan's 5 top companies, built when they bought Midorojima, where we live. If the rumors are true, that place is the definition of luxury. Centered around the giant oval tower, it's full of casinos, movie theaters, shopping malls, hotels, everything you can imagine. Membership is by invitation only, but even then the membership fee alone costs more than this whole island is worth, or so I've heard. Obviously no one from the old residential district will ever get into Platinum Jail. So I guess you could call this town a slum. Nobody cares what happens here. The police are all talk. They're in bed with the Yakuza and do whatever they please. It's not like we can just do anything about it. Even when we're unhappy, we just have to suck it up and deal with it. Despite all that, as the saying goes, there really is no place like home. This town isn't so bad when you get used to it. While it might not be as extravagant as Platinum Jail, we can have our own way of life, our own kinds of fun. Can't really ask for much more than that. Alba. Ren pokes his head out of my bag and taps my arm with his paw. What's the matter? You're thinking too much. Your logic processor will short-circuit. Seriously? Just how crappy is this logic processor of mine anyway? If we rate the logic processor an average male at 100, then yours would rate at... Wait, I don't want to hear it. You'll make me short-circuit for real. Oh. I chuckle and pat his head. Ren is a dog-type all-mate. All-mates are artificially intelligent life forms generally used to augment network devices like coils. They can search the internet and virtual space for information, place orders for you in online stores, or manage your social media accounts. They are net navies in a physical pet-like body. Some models can also help around the house, while others can act as partners in an online game called Rhyme. There are many different types of Allmate. Animal models are abundant, and so many keep them as pets. I've had Ren for a long time. I'm not exaggerating when I say he's my best friend. Even with all the improvements and new models coming out, I'll never abandon Ren. Not even if hell freezes over. If you want to take a shortcut, turn right. If you want to take a shortcut, turn right at the next street. Wow, that was close. Almost missed it. Swig of tea. I follow Ren's directions down an alley off Aoyagi Street. Aoyagi Street runs through the centre of the old residential district, dividing the district into quarters. It's lined with shops selling discount appliances, while the back streets are littered with niche hobby shops. As I make my way down the alley, a group of guys leaning against a filthy wall catches my eye. They have a certain look, like the kind of guys who'd be passing around a silver drug sheet. It really makes you wonder what's wrong with kids these days. Once upon a time, though, I was just like them. Not that I'm old or anything. Anyway, I'm finished with that stuff, totally. Oh yeah, that's also a thing. This game is a shonen in ways, as demonstrated. There are online battles and AI assistant best friend pets. But as far as I am aware, all main characters are over 18, and thank God, because there are plenty of anime-inspired video games out there that decide that they also want to be erotica and not actually consider the age of consent internationally. And that could be a rough time, and this game deftly dodges around that pitfall, and I could never be more glad. As I walk past, I catch a bit of their conversation. So, yeah, it's really happening. People are getting brain-jacked. What the hell are you talking about? Getting forced into Rhyme? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You'll just be walking down the street and a match will start, and against a crazy strong opponent too. But wouldn't that mean there's no Usui? Can you even rhyme without Usui? Sounds like you can. I don't know how it works. How can you fight if you're not ready? Can't you decline the challenge? Not from what I hear. It's a total ganking. You get your ass handed to you like that. That's some scary shit, man. They're talking about Rhyme, the online fighting game that's all the rage these days. By connecting their minds on the net, players can experience virtual combat that feels just like the real thing. The thing is, there's no schedule or anything that tells you when or where a battle's about to happen. Whenever Usui, the game's judge, appears, that's the battlefield. Rhyme started off as an indie game. Back then, the rules were more lax, and Usui wasn't around either. It steadily gained popularity, and eventually Toei became a major sponsor. So the system was improved, and Usui was added, along with an official set of rules, making Rhyme what it is today. But I don't play Rhyme, so it really isn't my business. I head through the alley and come out once more on Aoyagi Street. At the end of the street, I see the sign for the courier's shop. The background's really nice. Isn't that just clean? Even though this is established as the kind of slum part of it's the broke part of the world, they still go through the lengths of making it vibrant, channeling the old new. I like that. That's neat. Just as I start towards it, I notice a crowd in the middle of the road. It looks like a fight. A bunch of people with nothing better to do have gathered to watch. I keep walking, trying to avoid the whole mess, but then the crowd shifts, followed by a high-pitched scream. I peer through the gaps in the crowd. A large man is sprawled out on the ground and another standing over him. The second man has his back to me, but I recognize him immediately. A bright red kimono and a big sword. There's no one else it could be. For a big guy, you sure went down easy. Way to make a fool of yourself in front of your girlfriend. Ah, Kajak. He's so cool and so dreamy. Starry-eyed girls flock to the victor, trampling the man on the ground in the process. Here we go again. I'm really sorry. One woman, who is keeping a bit of a distance, approaches with an apologetic bow. This is all because I told him I wanted you to do my hair. Who do you think you are? Yeah, wait your turn. She must be the girlfriend of the man sprawled out on the street. I'm guessing the commotion started when they tried to cut in line at Kajaku's shop. Calming his angry fans with a gesture, Kajaku gives the girlfriend a smile. I'm glad you think so highly of my skills, miss, but all of my customers are important. Can't have people cutting in line, you know. I know. Your boyfriend may have taken things too far, but he was doing it for you. But don't be too hard on him, okay? Anyway, come back later. I'll hook you up. Thank you. The woman's eyes sparkle, her cheeks turning bright red. There goes another one. Kajaku's other fans are not amused. Hey, how long are you going to stand there? Move. Oh, Kajaku, you must be so sweaty. I brought this handkerchief, but you're welcome to use it. Nah, I couldn't. You bought it for yourself, right? Keep it. Please, I'm sure my handkerchief would be honored. Well, what kind of man would I be if I said no to that? Kajaku takes the woman's hands, pulling her toward him with a smile. Hey, urban friend Dan, welcome. Welcome to the gays. The gays manifest. You are just in time to meet gay number one, Kajaku. Thanks. I'll make good use of it. There it is. His infamous lady killer smile. Gay the first, yeah. Well, that's what I call it at least. The woman with the handkerchief slumps to her knees, attracting jealous glares from the others. Every woman here seems out for blood. Oh, this is all the magic of just remembering that because I'm not on camera, I can just move the mic closer to my face. A little while ago, I actually messed with my settings to give my EQ levels on my microphone a bit more of like a public broadcast radio feel, and it definitely improved my mic volume. But because I don't have like a noise cancel padding behind it, and I had it further away from my face, you didn't actually pick up too much of that. But now I have it like right in the zone. I think you're definitely maybe getting a bit of deep voice ASMR vibes. I'm going to look forward to listening to this back later and seeing how the vocal quality improves by just moving the mic closer. It's very silly. Let's get out of here. Oh, whoops. This isn't the first time I've seen this shtick. Very crisp blocks of extra bass. I'm glad the new EQ is working correctly. There we go. This isn't the first time I've seen this shtick. Disgusted, I start to move away from the crowd. Alba. Ugh. I can feel all those eyes focusing on me. Man, look at that girl in the back. Just the hearts coming out of her head. I'll pretend I didn't hear him. I turn around and start walking at a brisk pace. Hey, hold up. But Kajaku runs after me and grabs my arm. Here we go again. Kajaku! I knew it. Yo, what's with the cold shoulder? You should have said something. Yeah, I was just passing by on a job. A delivery? Kajaku smiles indulgently, which of course makes the woman around him swoon again. His smile is like a weapon. He's been using it for ages, but women still fall for it. I don't really feel like talking here. There are too many people around, and the women's eyes are scaring me. Aren't you supposed to be working? I guess it might be hard with all this. Yeah, this guy thought he could skip the line. I took care of it. You know, if you don't cut this stuff out, sooner or later someone's gonna cut you. Cut me? Who'd do that? Just take a look around you. I sweep my gaze over the women glaring at me. It was clear that they weren't about to let anyone, man or woman, get close to Kajaku. Scary. Oh, well, I'll be fine. Do I really look like such an easy target? Kajaku punctuates this with a smirk. Seriously? Well, I guess I can't argue with him there. Kajaku's pretty much always been aware of how handsome and popular he is. He's not the type to brag about it, and he has a casual confidence about him, and he knows his way around a fight. I mean, he carries Hanzo Steel around with him in the streets. You know he's a hard ass. He's a wandering hairdresser. All he does is cut and style women's hair, but apparently he's developed quite a reputation for it. He sets up shop wherever and whenever he feels like it. He doesn't advertise or take reservations, but he always has a line around the block. They all say that when Kajaku touches your hair, it feels like you've died and gone to heaven. I wonder if he cuts hair using the katana. I just don't get it. If you told me a guy like this existed, I wouldn't believe you for a second if I didn't already know him. Anyway, you said you should cool it with the player routine. How many hearts do you think you've broken? Easier said than done, bro. Not gonna turn down an offer. Women are one of life's greatest pleasures, yeah? Beautiful, sexy, gotta treat them right. I can only imagine the scalp massages. Yeah, I mean, he got them yaoi hands. The yaoi hands will definitely get deep in tissue massage. You're so cool. I love you. Whatever floats your boat. I gotta get going. Right. Kajaku, hurry. Hey, it's my turn next. Ugh. As soon as I end the conversation, the women swarm Kajaku. He shoots me a look from the center of the crowd. Oh, almost forgot. Tell Miss Tay I said hi. I'll swing by again soon. Yeah, sure. I shrug and walk off. Still, the guy never gets enough, huh? I mean, he must like it, but I know he'd hate to be the center of all that attention. I guess he's a special breed. I head for the courier, leaving the crowd behind. Delivery works. There it is. I step through the automatic doors. Oh, welcome, Alba dear. I'm happy to see you again. You too. I bowed to Miss Yoshie and set the paper bag on the counter. A small dog with long, shiny fur sits proudly on the counter watching me intently. That's Clara, Miss Yoshie's all-mate. I'd like to send this. Certainly. Let me take care of that for you. Miss Yoshie checks the address with practiced hands, then pushes a nearby button. A box next to the counter opens. She tosses the bag inside. This outfit specializes in delivering packages within the old residential district, a welcome service in a town where transportation isn't readily available. In any case, my work here is done. Thanks. See you later. Are you heading back to the store? No, I'm heading home. Mr. Hager said he'd be closing up earlier today. Oh, well, isn't that lovely? The final episode of AWTR is tonight. You can watch it live. what? Oh, come on. Didn't I tell you about it the other day? Oh, right. What was it again? It's a soap opera, a waltz to remember. Today she's finally going to decide on her partner. I'm totally rooting for Kaiser Matsuoka. That easy smile is just to die for. Not to mention his slight sadistic streak. Uh-huh. Miss Yoshie twirls her hair around her finger with a dreamy, girlish look in her eyes. I mean, she's not a bad person or anything. I'd better be. By the way, hey dear, have you heard? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Or maybe you don't? Miss Yoshie beckons me closer, a serious look on her face. She's really not a bad person. Swallowing a resigned sigh, I lean in closer. There are no other people in the shop, but for some reason she speaks in a whisper. Swig. Stay hydrated, kids. You know Hugh Gudani in the north, the bad part of town? You never hear anything good about that place, but lately the rumours have been particularly nasty. Yeah. Apparently there's a gang there led by a man who escaped from death row. It's tea. It's caffeinated, but you know. Oh, Scratch, right? I heard he's put together some really bad guys. Yes, that's him. They say the gang is entirely escaped criminals. Actually, weren't some people kidnapped in that area a little while back? Goodness me, that's so scary. You can't even go out alone at night. We can't depend on the police at all. I mean, they can be just as bad. What an awful, awful world we live in. Miss Yoshie said ACAB. You heard it here first. She's not wrong about that. The old residential district police are no better than gangsters themselves. Yeah. Simultaneously, the chat says the exact same thing. Exactly, yes. Rub an officer the wrong way and you could get beaten or even arrested. Oh, no. I should hurry home before it gets too late. I mean, what will I do if somebody tries to have their way with me? What? Miss Yoshie shoots me a meaningful look. I think you'll be fine. Well, that line has aged poorly. Fine? How can you say that? I'm obviously in danger. Well, I've got to be going. Thanks. Hold it. Another voice stops me before I can leave. Huh? How's that blue fellow doing? Oh, Clara, do you miss Ren? That's right, you two are the best of friends. Taking Clara into her arms, Miss Yoshie shoots me an expectant look. Oh, sorry, I left him at home today. I know so many women in their 40s who are staunchly anti-fair and I would protect them with my life. Yes! I mean, the older generation of women know their shit. So many of them are intersectional feminists and total badasses. He's in that bag of yours, isn't he? Were you going to leave without him saying hello? No way out. I'm sorry, Ren. You're just going to have to grin and bear it. I take Ren out of my bag and gently pat his head to wake him up.
Yes, Alba?
Ren, say hi to Clara. Ugh. Ren's ears and tails droop. Yes, this deep voice is officially actually what the dog has. If you have the voice acting on, the voice is deep. Clara stares down at him from her place in Monsieur Che's arms. What's wrong? Still sleeping?
How do you do, Clara?
I'm quite well, Ren. Clara wags her tail happily. Monsieur Che smiles too. You two are just adorable together. Well, now you said hello, I'd really better be... Oh, wait, dear. I'm sorry. I know you're on your way out. I need one more thing. I promise it'll be quick. It's night time by the time Monsieur Che lets me go. Good job back there. We do what we must. Ren is curled up in my bag, exhausted from his ordeal. Despite the attitude, Clara seems rather fond of Ren. She asks about him whenever I see her. While users can adjust their all-mates' personalities to some degree, they are largely shaped by their environment. As a result, you can never tell when two all-mates will connect. Ren doesn't seem to like Clara very much, but unfortunately for him, I find the whole situation kind of funny. How are you doing? I'm alright, I guess. After she stopped me the last time, Monsieur Che made me eat this whipped cream slathered monstrosity she made in cooking class. My stomach is killing me. Alba is also lactose intolerant, and I understand the struggle. I guess we should head home. Feeling like a couple of soldiers who narrowly escaped death on the battlefield, we start towards home. Night is in full swing. Man! Shit's pretty. Look at that. Ugh. Night is in full swing on Aoyagi Street, the darkness washed away by lights and brilliant neon signs. There are no zoning lords in the old residential district. Is this this is bad representation, gays who can't get along with gossipy women? Yeah. I mean, it's not so much of a spoiler. This is true of kind of like most yaoi fiction, but Alba is one of those protagonists is like, I couldn't possibly attracted to a boy unless we'll be discovering things about himself over the course of the narrative, I'm sure. But when night falls, things really change. That's when the ribsties really come out of the woodwork. Ribsties, what a name. Me with a dick in my ass. It's a straight thing. Yeah, you know. Two bros. The Ribsties are young men who form gangs or teams to brawl each other on over turf. This game, if you can call it that, is also known as Rib. Rib was popular before Rhyme, so the Rib gangs look down on their digitized Rhymer cousins. They think they're just a bunch of nerds trying to act cool. Still, more and more Ribsties are making the jump to Rhyme, and that means everyone's looking for a fight. Suddenly, someone grabs my arm from behind. Hey, that's a Brain Nuts jacket, right? It's a man with dyed red hair. He looks younger than me. Isn't that the brand worth a lot right now? The grinning green-haired man approaches next. Red and green. Is it Christmas or something? Shit, man, that jacket's totally my grail. Yo, dude. The red-haired one gives me a phony smile. You can buy one in front of the station. I try to jerk my arm away, but the redhead glares and grips me tighter. Hold on, man. What's with that attitude? I want that jacket and I want it now. You deaf? You know who we are? Bug Bomb. Yeah, that's right. So what? You think you're better? The green-haired guy flashes the tattoo on his wrist. A winking woman with enormous breasts straddling a pink bomb. Wow, I'd kill the guy who put that on my skin. In any case, I hadn't heard of Bug Bomb. Obviously, these two are small-time looking for fights to build their cred. That is one ugly tat. The fuck you say? I said your tat looks like shit. Yeah, what gang you roll with? Don't got one. Motherfucker, you're unmarked? No fucking way. Red and green look at each other, grinning like idiots. What's that Yakuza 0 quest about the stage and jumper? Oh, yeah. Where the dude's trying to cross the bridge, but the bridge brings all the aggro because it basically says in like kanji, I take on all comers. Yeah. Exactly that, but attached to a blue-haired twink. You for real? The Rib gangs always have a tag, a piece of art members tattoo on their body. If you don't have a tat, it means you're not in a gang, and that makes you an easy target. That means we can take him out right here. Easy peasy. Let's go for a little walk, huh? His jacket says, I want this twink annihilated. For sure. Oh, there we go. Better quit while you can. Who's saying that? There seems to be a couple of light issues in some of the localization where these go like unattributed. Oh, did I lose the audio? Oh, it's just the music ducking out, I see. Red looks over my shoulder, glowering at the man who's appeared behind me. Oh, it's a new character. I don't know what voice this is. He's liable to curb stomp the both of you. Who the fuck are you? Green, meanwhile, has turned white as a sheet. Yo, this ain't good. What ain't good? That's Mizuki, the boss of Dry Juice. Dry Juice? Do you know his killer technique? The fox heel drop. Just one and you'll be eating through a straw for the rest of your life. Fuck, why didn't you say you were Dry Juice? Let's bounce. The man behind me laughs as the two punks run off with the tails between their legs. Losers. Don't start what you can't finish, right? I turn around knowing exactly who I'll see. Sup? Long time no see.
Mizuki.
What a logo. That J is the wrong way round, but okay. It's Mizuki, leader of Dry Juice, the largest of the ribbed gangs. His tan skin, black hair, and green eyes. Black hair? Are you sure? Dry Juice is what you'd name the street gang in Shadowrun. I mean, not necessarily that this game is... I don't think the people who wrote this game would have necessarily touched the world of Shadowrun. When it comes to tabletop RPGs in Japan, I do believe Call of Cthulhu reigns supreme, but it's definitely hitting that kind of energy. Oh, me specifically, what I would name a street gang in Shadowrun. Right, I misread you. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. That's very accurate. Teardrop in his tattoo beneath one eye. What the hell is a fox heel drop? I'm talking about that fancy footwork of yours. Forget the name. I just made it up on the fly. Point is, you cracked jaws. None years. Well, I remember it like it was yesterday. You know, I don't usually see you around here at this hour. I like this. I'm growing to enjoy this voice I'm giving Mizuki. Yeah, I guess. Have you finally decided to join us? A little bit. Maybe not quite as American, but I like the pendulum swinging of stress I'm putting on this dude's voice. He grins welcomingly, but I just shrug. Not happening. I keep telling you. You might be surprised about how much I like it. I used to run with Mizuki back in the day. We got into all sorts of trouble. He's pretty laid back, but he's also a guy you can depend on, who knows when it's time to get serious. Rib fighters think they're all hot shit, so it's pretty impressive that he's managed to unite so many to form the largest rib gang. Still, I have no intention of joining. Sounds like a pain in the ass. Yeah, I know. Things have been hard for us too lately. Hard how? Isn't your team as strong as ever? You know what I'm talking about. It's rhyme. Rhyme? Mizuki's expression darkens. We're even losing members now. I mean, they like to say rhyme takes brain power, but that's just another way of saying it's all in your head, right? I don't get it. How can you protect your turf with your imagination? Well, yeah, you got a point. I honestly can't blame Mizuki for feeling the way he does about rhyme. I mean, you could say the same argument about Rib. It's just a bunch of kids playing capture the flag. But I know Mizuki really cares about his team. That's probably why he can't just let Trendhoppers slide. And then there are those disappearances. Disappearances? You heard the stories, haven't you? Entire rib teams going missing. Yeah, but isn't that an urban legend? It's over a decade old, too. Well, I don't know what's going on, but the gangs have started disappearing again. You sure they didn't just piss off some Yakuza? That's the weird thing. Guys will show up after a few days they disappeared. Not all at once, but just a few at a time. But they don't remember a thing. Like nothing. Not even their own fucking name. It's like their brains were fried or something. Didn't they say morphine was behind it last time? I guess morphine's practically an urban legend now. Morpheme is a different word. Yeah, but still. Morphine were a legendary rib gang that dominated the scene a decade ago. Their tag was a heart and a cross, all in black. The gang was cloaked in mystery. All anyone really knew is that they were invincible. Naturally, the rumors gathered like flies. One popular rumor said they were behind the disappearances. If Morphine's not behind it, maybe it's those rhymers. Isn't that kind of far-fetched? I'm just kidding. It's those guys who've been getting real cocky lately. But I mean, do you really think they could make people disappear, let alone wipe their memories? If shit like that were happening, the city would be up in arms. No, I know. That's why I said I was kidding. Ooh! Just then we hear cheering nearby, followed by the thunder of footsteps of people race to the scene. Mizuki scowls. Fucking rhyme. Better bounce before I get the urge to break some heads. See you later. Make sure you stop by the shop sometime. Sure. Later. Mizuki waves and then stalks away, pushing through the gathering crowd, and then I never use that voice again. So long, that voice. It was fun while I was doing it. Once Mizuki is gone, I turn towards the center of the commotion. While rhyme isn't exactly my boat, I don't have anything against it either. I was actually pretty curious the first time Mizuki brought it up. What's the matter? Nothing. Let's go. Mizuki shows up again and he's white. Hi! Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us, Samael. How's it going? I pat Ren's head and start to make my way out of the alley. But then, a white light swallows the world. Huh? Before I can even figure out what's going on, a ball of light appears in front of me. Can I pay with my red credit card? It gradually assumes a human form, then reaches towards me with one hand. Its fingertips stroke my cheek, or at least I think they do. What? The next thing I know, I'm at the center of the crowd. Huh? Whoa! Bodies press in from all sides. I'm trapped. Usui! Usui! A circle of light is floating above the ground, and inside it, a woman with 8 arms appears, swaying slowly before coming to a stop. My initial debut into the world of tabletop RPG actual play, a little podcast called The Talent Agency, listenable at thetalentagency.podbean.com. There is an AI character who shows up very early on called Orpheus, and she is very, very heavily based aesthetically on this design of Usui. So even though this is a game I played a long while ago and I'm revisiting it, definitely had direct effects on how I pictured Cyberpunk looking visually ever since. I'm good. I had to move to the living room because I kept lagging. I couldn't even... Oh, I see. Thank you for tuning in, Samael. I hope my narration of this story has been entertaining, and I hope you enjoy all the wonderful anime boys to come. Oh, I didn't mean to hide the text. A woman with 8 arms appears, swaying slowly before coming to a stop. It's time for what you've all been waiting for. Rhyme. Today's first battle, player versus Route 44. So this is Rhyme. Oh, sorry. So this is Rhyme. I've never seen it up close before. The 8-armed woman is Usui, who presides over all the rhyme battles. I say woman, but for some reason it has a deep manly voice. Never mind! Never mind. I retcon it. Usui's hands flicker, the light grows brighter, and a huge virtual screen appears overhead. The fighters are already in the ring, preparing their all-mates.
Will the rookie break the player's winning... Will the rookie break player's winning streak? Let's find out.
You freaking love dramatical murder. Oh my gosh, somebody who also really enjoys this game. I played it forever ago. Noise is best boy. I'm so glad this is officially being released in English and people can play this genuinely really well-told Cyberpunk game that also has dick, but is also a really well-told Cyberpunk game. You see, sounding like the fucking Guilty Gear Rev announcer. Yeah.
Player is ready for battle. Route 44, ready to go? All right, let's get this party started. Game start.
So he lifts its hands with gentle grace. Its elegant movements are sharp contrast to its booming voice. The monitor switches to a view of the field. The audience hoots and cheers. Suddenly a sharp pain shoots through my head. What the hell? Is the noise getting to me? Clutching my forehead, I glare at the crowd. Are you all right?
The wheel of fate is turning. Bienvenue, power bottoms.
That would be for the best. I finally managed to muscle my way out of the roaring throng. Leaning against a nearby wall, I sigh and catch my breath. I never knew it was the yaoi stories at first. I was so mad that I could only find the game in Japanese, and yes, Noise best boy ever. Yeah, there's like an unofficial fan translation, and I had to put my laptop through a lot to get it to run. So, availability of good games is always nice. I have the art book for this game, actually. None of the sauciness in it. But it does have Gay Anime Boys 2 and 3. So, like, again, this game having kind of an effect on my perspective on character design. The Brothers Grimm in Arcana Core, Clematis and Gloriosa, while I didn't necessarily design them when I was like drawing the design of them on paper, Virus and Trip, these characters, didn't necessarily cross my mind when I drew them, but like, oh my god, it's such... I look up to find a familiar duo standing in front of me. What are the voices for this? Oh man, I'm just gonna voice them like I do Clematis and Gloriosa. Hey there.
What's the matter? Feeling sick?
Crowd getting to you?
Virus, Trip.
You two. Yeah, must be the crowd. The Four Eyes is Virus. Apparently, or at least the way that the like Japanese narrator pronounces it is virus, not virus. So I'm going to do that. The Four Eyes is Virus. The big guy is Trip. I've known him for ages.
How are you feeling?
Not great, but I should be fine. What are you doing here anyway? I thought rhyme wasn't your thing. Just passing through.
You thinking of joining?
Not a chance. So it's a coincidence you're here right when the fight starts. I'm telling you I'm not interested. What about you? What are you two doing here?
We're here on business.
The rhymers have been getting a little out of hand lately. The old residential district is home to some pretty dangerous groups. These two belong to one of them. It's the French pronunciation of the word, funnily enough. No, that makes sense. I met them ages ago when I was still stupid and a teenager. Back then, I was always pissed off about something. I'd spend my nights trolling for brawls in Wenabashi. And in the end, In the end, all that adolescent posturing got me was a trip to the hospital after I picked a fight with the wrong guy. Yeah, I was kind of a loser. The only people who really know what I got up to back then are these two and Granny. I lost touch with them until we reconnected a few years ago. By then, I'd gotten a part-time job and they had joined the Yakuza. Considering that the police are basically Yakuza too, it's never really bothered me. Anyway, you two look the same as ever, like twins. We're not twins. Things going well at work? The ice cream shop, right, with the penguin aprons? I thought you got fired on your first day. I made it 3 days, thank you very much. Now I work at the junk shop. Right, what was it again? Dum-dum? Humdrum Junk. I've been there for a while now.
That name doesn't suit you. If you wanted to ever let loose again, you know who to call.
We've got a lot of power. You could do worse. Well, I appreciate the offer. I keep thinking how much I'd like to see you fight again. Yeah, we're your biggest fans.
Oh, 250 damage to Route 44. Is it over already?
Man, a lot of voices today. A roar comes up from the audience, but then... Oh, this is Cop. I don't... So, even though I've played this game and I remember very specific things about it, I played this game like 6 years ago and my memory of some parts is really fuzzy. I also didn't do the virus and trip route. I only did noises route, so there's plenty about these characters that I don't actually know. And even louder voice. Oh, I didn't actually go and kick up what the dialogue said. It was on screen. Y'all read it. An even louder voice cuts through the charged atmosphere. Akushima. Welcome to ACAB, man. Brandishing a megaphone, the man charges in with several police officers in tow. Oh, no. Oh, just what we needed.
Where do you fuckers think you are? You're all under arrest.
The match is over. Usui vanishes in a puff of smoke, and the fighters and spectators scatter. The guy with the megaphone is Akashima, a hard-ass detective who's crooked as they come. He's jailed or beaten dozens of people on blatantly false charges. Man, I read that at the time and was like... I'm reading this now, and I'm like... They call him the Grim Reaper of the old residential district.
I think we'd better get going. You probably should too.
Yeah. See you around.
Wait, you scumdrags. Get back here. We're gonna arrest every one of you shitheads.
Akashima looks like he's about to burst a blood vessel. I ignore him and take off running. Aoyagi Street is just ahead. Huh? As I round the corner, a motorcycle nearly runs me over. I stumble and fall backward. I'm gonna look it up now I know who's the elder one. So many characters. The demo, and also this is actually just the plot line. And when you're in the main release, they introduce so many characters so quickly because you need to know them all before various things happen to them. A bike pulls up a short distance away. I stare at the driver in a daze. Oh God. I hate this guy. He doesn't get off, but his eyes are focused on me. Something about those eyes sent a shiver down my spine. The man speeds off without saying a word. Hey! I jump up, but he's already gone. Son of a bitch. He nearly ran me over and he didn't even apologize. I mean, near misses like that aren't unusual in this part of town, but it still pisses me off. Are you alright? Yeah, barely. That was a close one. I'm glad you're safe. You and me both. Rand's concern soothes my anger. I'm safe. That's what matters, right? I sped out back toward home. I enter my neighborhood and soon reach my house. I'm hurt. What's wrong with you, stupid boy?
Te Otae.
A clap of thunder greets me the moment I open the door. I know from experience the ringing won't go away anytime soon. Do you have to shout? How else am I gonna get it through your thick skull? Granny is perched menacingly on the landing, fuming as she scowls at me. I've always wondered how such an old woman can make so much noise. What are you mad about now? Don't you know? The lock. The lock? How many times have I told you to lock the door when you go to work? Oh, did I forget? Sorry. I was almost late for work this morning, so I ran out of the house in a hurry. Don't sorry me. What did I do to deserve such a forgetful grandchild? What do you want from me? I forgot, okay? Okay, Mink is the worst, but in the Jeez, I really like him. For some reasons, he is often black in them. Well, there are two reasons why that is true. One, because he's depicted in this, even though he's clearly Japanese, as having dreads, and non-black people with dreads, while a thing, is not always a great look. Actually, pause. We'll discuss this for a second because this is a thing, and it's interesting. Actually, one of the things that really interests me about modern Japanese culture in how strong international music culture is in Japan, in the same way that hip hop heads are international. There's actually a really large reggae scene in Japan. A lot of the people who are part of that audience are now older. But it's actually a really big scene, and apparently historically there are a lot of reggae acts that perform in Tokyo and the like these days. Alongside Prague, interestingly enough, Prague also has a huge reggae scene. And so the kind of like reggae lifers adopt the culture, including the fashion, and to some that also includes dreading their hair. And there are many ways that you can kind of like interpret that and whether it's appropriative necessarily. But I think, you know, if they are truly embracing the culture, I don't mind. I don't know, because it doesn't come up in this game. I don't think Mink is a reggae fan. I think Mink is dreads because it looks gangster, whoever did the character design of Mink. I really like the art in this game, and I like a lot of the character design of this game. But... I mean, they even had a super famous and important black samurai. Yes, but there's still a large amount of Japan, even now, that is historically really racist and anti-black. You know, their most famous tennis player is black Japanese mixed race, and she gets so much shit, even though she is absurdly talented. So kind of like racial politics within Japan is really complicated. It's a lot more international now. You know, the way that globalized media exists, the majority of Japan is used to the idea of black people, so the kind of like 90s interpretation of being actively stared at. Her name's Naomi. Oh gosh, I'm now forgetting the name of this tennis player. I believe her name is Naomi. Feel free to fact check me on that, Samael. But yeah, she's super nice and cute, and she's really talented, and she gets a ton of shit for being mixed race and black mixed race. So this game came out in 2011, and there were as increased nuance in how Japan like interacted with blackness and black culture, and it's better than it used to be, but there's still some bits and pieces of it that remain in the cultural unconscious that have to be unlearned. She had to give up her double nationality because you can't have that after 22 years in Japan. Huh, who knew? Interesting. But yeah. Mink is a very complicated character in this game. He's really actually abusive, and he's actually abusive in this section of the game if we get up to that in the demo. So I will be giving a vocal content warning when we get there. Just FYI. But back to Granny yelling at us. Because you've overslept again. You're 23 and you're completely hopeless. Naomi Osaka. Thank you very much, Simon, for reminding me. I knew her surname began with an O, but I didn't remember. Are you trying to make your grandmother cry? I said I'm sorry, didn't I? Everyone screws up sometimes. You could get a gold medal in screwing up. How many times is it now? 6. You are completely hopeless. Granny is shaking with anger. The veins on her forehead are bulging. This is serious. She's fainted after getting too worked up before. I get it. I'll be more careful, so stop shouting at me. How many times have I heard that one? How can I rest in peace if you still can't take care of yourself? Granny snorts and stamps back into the kitchen. You still standing there? Come in before you freeze. She seems to have settled down for the moment. Relieved, I take off my shoes and head inside. We might get into shouting matches like this on a daily basis, but we actually get along pretty well, all things considered. Grandma, you're mean. I'm exactly like Albert, and it hurt. Yeah, like mixed race black Japanese are relentlessly bullied in school, heartbreaking shit. Yeah, no, for real. The fact that she can still yell like that is proof that she's healthy. I think that her yelling is one of the things I'm going to miss when the time comes. I'm really grateful for her raising me all by herself. Not that I'd ever say that to her face. Actually, God, when I played this, I was actually living with my late nana. A lot of my immediate family had moved out of London, so I was living with my grandmother while I was working. Yeah, I get this. I get the relationship of this. Both the kind of like being an impulsive young person at 23. Actually, I was definitely living with her when I was 23. And then also thinking about what the dynamic would be when they're gone. That's real. Granny's in the kitchen in the middle of serving up whatever she was sauteing in her frying pan. I made myself sad. Great. I washed my hands in the sink, grabbed 2 sets of chopsticks off the shelf and set the table. You might be wondering where my parents are. They were never the type to stay in one place. Even when they lived here with us, they would up and vanish for months, even years at a time. It was always like that, even when I was little, so I eventually got used to it being just Granny and me. When they stopped coming back altogether, I was surprisingly okay. I guess I have Granny to thank for that. After all the trouble I caused growing up, I just want to treasure the time I have left with her. Video game, stop, please. A simple life is all I need. Let's eat. She lines up the food: salmon noodles, tuna, star-fried shiitake mushrooms and boiled greens, fried fish and miso soup. I sit down with Granny and put my hands together. Eat up. Thanks for the food. Granny, this is delicious. Is it now? Being chased by the police made me hungry. So Granny's homemade cooking really hits the spot. While stuffing my face, I feel a sharp pain shoot through my skull. Here we go again. Ow. Another headache. Don't forget to take your medicine after you eat. I'm lucky enough to have a young grandma. She's at most almost 70, and I'm 23 this year, and I'm sure she sure is healthy. Hell yes. Hell yes. As long as she's treating you right, I'm sure you're treating her right too. I won't. I've suffered through frequent headaches ever since youthful indiscretion landed me in hospital. This is the second one today. No one's ever been able to figure out the cause. Ever since it started, I've been taking the medicine Granny prescribes. Did I mention my Granny has a medical license? Yeah, she's kind of like the village doctor, always giving neighborhood folks checkups and meds. That's real, though. You got to reward yourself with a big lard heavy meal after escaping the cops. It uses a lot of energy. There's actually been, because of the current UK legislation about anti-protest laws. I was actually in town today going for a walk with my partner, and a large protest against the protest ban was actually in full force in town today, which was heartwarming to see. But then there was also a protest march about people talking about how the virus isn't real. So, I'm glad that they also have the right to protest stupid shit. She has quite the reputation for being safer than other less competent doctors who just take your money. I can vouch for that. Her pills are the only thing that have ever helped my headaches. Thanks for the meal. After I finish eating, I take my medicine, clear the table, and head upstairs. This has been a very real stream so far. Goodness me. In my room, I pull Ren out of my bag to wake him up from sleep mode. My head is killing me. I'm thinking fresh air might help, so I go out onto the balcony. A cool breeze feels nice. Leaning on the handrail, I sigh and look up at the sky. The overlapping buildings obscure my view. It hasn't always been like this. This island was once a beautiful place. Midorojima is a remote island in the southwest of mainland Japan. The island is known for its blue seas, white sands, and lush forests. Or at least it was. It's ancient history now. Humans be absolutely amazing and creative, fantastic, and they can also be the stupidest creatures on Earth. For real. Now, Platinum Jail dominates the island, occupying nearly a full third of its landmass. A huge wall separates Platinum Jail from the old residential district, so no one can even see what's inside. You see big shots from the Toei Corporation, the company that built Platinum Jail, on TV all the time. Back when I was a kid, the Toei Corporation was trying to evict people from the island so they could start development. They managed to convince most of the island's residents to leave with promises of luxurious homes and exorbitant sums of money. But there were still some people who were too stubborn to go, like us. We weren't about to abandon our homes no matter what juicy bait they dangled in front of us. And for a while, Toei left us alone. Toei's public stance on the issue is that they didn't want to force people out. In reality, however, they were plotting to show us the errors of our ways. It began with a reduction in basic utilities, explained as maintenance that never seemed to end. The livable sphere slowly shrank until the remaining residents were forced into what is now known as the old residential district. These are tactics that actual corporations use to force people out of land that they would otherwise own, especially native populations. This once beautiful island is in shambles. How could the government allow this? Some of the islanders begged for the government to help, but their petitions were all rejected. Finally, 3 years ago, Toei started requiring the residents of the old residential district to get permission before they could leave the island. The permission they wouldn't grant. Ever. I'm sure Toa's justification is that it's our fault for not leaving when we had the chance. A noise at my feet snaps me out of my reverie. Alba, what do you want to do with the data from that email? Email? Ren's question startles me off the handrail. I completely forgot. Back at the store, while those kids were giving me trouble, my coil downloaded some kind of file. Was it a virus? I didn't detect anything. So what is it? It's a type of game where the player character gains experience points and levels by doing battle with enemy characters. Oh, an RPG? Does it cost anything? No, it's free. Huh. At least those stupid brats didn't make me buy something by accident. Is it the trial version? That is unclear. Well, if there's nothing fishy about it, I guess I could give it a try. Not like I've got anything better to do. Shall I start it? Please. Understood. Cradling Ren in my arms, I go back and sit on the bed. Teeny tiny Princess Peach. Can we talk about how cute doggy Ren is, but how stupidly hot human Ren is? Yeah, that's a thing. Oh, this is automatically scrolling fine. Save me from this place. The app is Genshin Impact. He will never escape. Funny thing, when Genshin Impact was new, I was like, I never did play Breath of the Wild, but I'll give free Breath of the Wild a try. And I had a really fun time, and I really enjoyed the voice acting, and the character design was really nice. And then it told me to just kind of wander around the island until I hit a certain level before it would give me new story. And then I put down the game and never came back to it. Don't sandbox me. Never give me sandbox bullshit. I need plot. Don't make me just pointlessly wander around your island when you could be giving me story. Thank you. Talk about retro. I bet those kids have never seen anything like this. I've only ever seen games like this in old videos. The game's logo appears after the message from the princess. In the Dragon Quest font, Silent Oath. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Man, it's so old, it feels almost new. I press the start button. I tried Genshin Impact for about 3 hours, couldn't stick to it. That is more or less exactly the amount of time that I played it for. No, it's just Dragon Quest. It's silent Dragon Quest. It's silent, very slow-moving Dragon Quest. This gives me time to refresh my drink while it's playing slow Dragon Quest. I'm ragging on this like I don't have like the Mana trilogy on my Switch. I'm really you walk for like 2 minutes and it's like to be continued. It charges you $9.99 for DLC. There we go. Looks like it. Funnily enough, I've never played Dragon Quest ever. They are all of a very similar energy. If you've never played one at all before, playing Dragon Quest XI is actually a really good call because it is exactly the same vibe as literally any other Dragon Quest game ever, but it doesn't waste your time because it has modern kind of like quality of life mechanics to it. And once you played 11, you probably don't need to play any of the others. I would also recommend you play Dragon Quest Monsters on Game Boy Color because I have a nostalgia for it and I think it's a well-designed game. Looks like it. Oh, well, I guess it was the perfect length to kill some time. Don't really know if it was all that entertaining, but I might play more when the next installment comes out. A yawn spills from my mouth as I close the game. And I was so focused on the game I didn't realise how tired I am. Better get ready for bed. And close the sliding glass door to the balcony, its curtain, and then head to the bathroom. The next day, I'm sitting behind the counter as usual at Humdrunk Junk. Damn, headaches. I rub the bridge of my nose. My head's been pounding ever since I woke up. I even took my medicine after breakfast. Maybe I'm getting sick. Alba, think you can make a delivery? I hear Mr. Hager clattering around the back of the store. Oh, let me help. I try to stand up, but my legs wobble. I quickly grab the counter. You all right? Sorry, just a little dizzy. Please sit down. I can do it myself. What's the matter? Oh, I was just kind of impressed. I have one volume of the manga, and that's all my knowledge of Dragon Quest. There are many games I never played because I never really had consoles. My first consoles was the GBASP Zelda Edition with Minish Cap. Oh, sure. So you would have missed out on the likes of like the Game Boy Color, like Dragon Quest games, which is where I got in. I've only played a handful of them, but they're neat. I would say actually under kind of modern circumstances, a lot of them are really easy to get hold of emulator wise, because they're quite retro as a thing. There might be some of them ported to like Steam, because Squeenix is quite on the ball about mirroring a lot of their back catalogue on Steam these days. Worth looking into. I would genuinely recommend Dragon Quest XI if you ever get the chance to play it that way. Don't be silly. Gleaning. Mr. Hager's all-mate Junker dances around him in circles. Oh, Junker, please clean the back. Back. Cool. It's a neat little robo. Really tired eyes. Junker returns to the back of the shop. Oh, right. Could you make a delivery for me? Mr. Hager pulls a small paper bag out of his pocket. The order didn't come until the middle of the night, but the customer requested express delivery. Anything that looks like a frog? Absolutely. Open friend in. Recently got ROM station again. Yeah. And well, I could not possibly endorse any form of ROM acquisitions if it's not a ROM that you have dumped yourself from the content that you already own. However, a lot of those games are out of print and very expensive. I look at the ship on the package. It's going to be an address in the East Quarter. It would definitely be faster to deliver it directly from the shop. One of our suppliers will be here soon, so I can't step away right now. I'm sorry. It's fine. I'll leave right now. Thank you. Mr. Hager smiles and then goes down to the basement. My head still feels like a brick, but I have work to do. I have to tough it out. I smack myself lightly to clear away the funk, then pick up my bag, head the package, and head outside. You sure this way's faster? Yes. I make my way down Iowagi Street, red navigating. As I walk alone, I notice a familiar tag all over the walls of an alley. Benny Shigure, the Crimson Rain, Kajaku's gang. Tags are how rib gangs stake their claims. This is part of the Kajaku's territory. The Kajaku's gang isn't that big. Not that many people know that Kajaku is a ribstees in the first place. Thanks to Kajaku's popularity with women, he's often wound up in brawls with jealous men, but he's never lost. Over time, his strength earned him some male fans as well, and this became his gang. I am struggling to words today. I apologize. I gave myself the rule to only play ROM games that I've either got gifted or bought if I lost the game or it got stolen from me. That's a very good approach to it. I used to collect old video games, and then my house was robbed and I lost a lot of them. So the only way of really me being able to obtain some of the rarer, expensive ones is via the emulation of the ROMs and ISOs that I personally dumped, of course. I think the way he looks after them shows the kind of guy Kajaku is. He's not one to turn away people who look up to him. Many ribstees join gangs because they admire the leader. Such members often take after their idol, which is why you see so many men wearing kimonos in Benny Shigure territory. They may look like bad news at first glance, but they're all good people. They help old ladies carry their bags and lost children find their parents. It's why Benny Shigure is pretty popular in the old residential district. Kajaku is to thank for that too, probably. Yo, Alba. Sup. I exchanged greetings with a couple Benny Shigure members who are chatting with a police officer. The police in the old residential district are corrupt, but some will mingle with regular folk if they're in the right mood, or if there's money involved. Some ribstees take such opportunities to fish for useful information or get a pass on some misdemeanor. Whatever works for them, I say. As I make my way further down the street, I hear some excited voices coming from up ahead. It's a man and two women walking arm in arm. Oh, you're terrible, but that's why we love you. Oh, I knew it. It's Kajaku. I really don't want to see him right now with his fans around, but it's already too late to escape. Hey, Alba. Hey. I try to keep the grimace on my face. I can't not fuck him. Sure. Yeah. I mean, the Kajaku route is, I think, a lot of that. I try to keep the grimace off my face. Alba, how's Ren? Kajaku's old mate Benny is flying next to him. Ren pops his head out of my bag. I'm right here. Oh, hey. Is he a friend of yours, Kajaku? The women look at me, sizing me up. Yeah, we go way back. Oh, really? Well, sorry the amazing Kajaku's friend doesn't measure up. Though I've known the guy since I was little, it's not like we spent our whole childhood together. Oh, right, that wasn't sarcasm. They haven't spent their childhood together, I see. Kajaku is originally from the mainland. He came to the island with his mother and went back to the mainland a few years later. We lost touch after that for a while, until suddenly, about 3 years ago, Kajaku came back, this time by himself. He'd grown a lot, but the way he talked and smiled was still the same old Kajaku. We started to hang out again after that. Kajaku often stops by my place to get a taste of Granny's cooking. What's the matter with you? Huh? You don't look so hot. I'm fine. Yeah, if you say so. I try to play it cool, but actually I'm surprised. Do I really look that sick? You working? We can't all live like you. The women react to my jab before Kajaku can. Hey, it's not like he's fooling around, you know. Yeah, he's walking us home on his way to work. Hey now, he's not wrong. How can I work with such lovely ladies in my side? Oh, Kajaku. They'll never understand how he spouts crap like that. A man must never refuse a woman's affections. Exactly. Women are a treasure. They're soft and gentle and warm men with their embrace. That's why we have to protect them, right? Kajaku puts his arms around the women's shoulders. I could just die. I should get going. Oh, wait a second. Before I can leave, one of the women stops me. Here, look, you've got something on you. The woman reaches out with her slender fingers and brushes something off my collar, then perish. Oh, thanks. I do love a woman with a keen eye. Huh? The woman suddenly looks at me like she's noticed something. Wow, your hair's pretty long. Oh, you're right. It's kind of cute. Just like a girl. Giggling, one of the women reaches for my hair. Excuse me. As a black man, don't fucking touch my hair. Don't you dare. It's on site if you touch my hair without permission. Stop. Hey. Oh, shit. Ow. I would smack her. I hate people touching my hair. Yes. Absolutely. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Sorry. You hit a girl. You think sorry's gonna cut it? Someday, I was like once in a restaurant with my friends, and there was two girls having a kiki in the table next to me, and they were pretty tipsy. And one just reached straight out, like her fingers were ready to go deep into the fro, just apropos of nothing. Man, like some white women, I swear to God. Settle down, ladies. He's sorry. And look, I'm sorry. Kajaku cuts between us and grasps the hands of the women I smacked away. But Kajaku... I let you in on a little secret. This guy here, he doesn't have a lot of experience with women. So he doesn't know how to act around pretty ladies like yourselves. You understand, right? Kajaku shoots me a look. He's asking me to play along. No. Go away, random ass. Gyaru wants to put her fingers in my do. Get lost. Could you forgive him for me? Well, if you say so. Yeah. The women look at me with eyes full of pity. I feel a little annoyed, but mostly I'm relieved. Kajaku really saved my ass. He knows how much I hate it when people touch my hair. Kajaku smiles at me. What's up? Falling for me because I'm such a nice guy? Shut up, dumbass. Hey, what'd you call calling Kajaku a dumbass? I flash Kajaku a grateful smile. He responds with a wink. He's really got his cool act down pat. Well, I have to get going. Right, be careful. I wave goodbye to Kajaku and get on my way. His name is surprisingly difficult to say. Kajaku. My destination is close. A left turn and then a straight shot down the street. Just as I go around the corner, I see a man hunched over the side of the road. He's mumbling something, but I can't make it out. You see a lot of that in town these days. People sitting on the ground or staring blankly at the sky. Or mumbling to themselves like this guy. It's not exactly a new thing, but he feels like there are a lot more of them lately. Anyway, best to keep your distance. I quickly walk past. The alleys are narrower here and particularly dark. There are a lot of restaurants too, so the area is full of savoury smells and smoke. Now I'm kind of hungry. If you do not do something to remedy the situation, in approximately 1 hour, you will likely be suffering from acid indigestion. What are you talking about? Is my stomach upset? It is a side effect of what you ate yesterday, plus some degree of sleep deprivation. Oh right, Monsieur Che's cake. That thing was ridiculous. Huh? A strange feeling stops me in my tracks. I could have sworn someone was staring at me. Ooh, we're about to get hot anime boy number 4. Hold on, I need to check a status thing. Alright, cool. I look around, but no one in the area stands out. I must have imagined it. Alba. Huh? It feels like missing a step on a staircase. The world around me freezes in place, then streams towards my feet at an unbelievable speed. It is noise. The sharp pain rips through my skull. I have no idea what's going on. What? My thoughts are incredibly muddy. My hands and feet are tingling. Suddenly, the world changes. Huh? Hold on. Am I getting is there some noise interference on my side? Do I need to turn my gain down? Let's turn that down a little, okay. I was looking at my input levels and there seemed to be a degree of background hiss that you were getting, and I'm like, you don't need that. You don't need that. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. What? Where am I? A glowing white wireframe floor extends as far as the eye can see. It's like I'm in some kind of game. Configuring Rhyme field. Wait, Rhyme? I'm in Rhyme? A blue Grillo appears in front of me, glowing into a human shape. I almost topple over when I see who it is. Ren?
Alba, are you okay?
What the hell? What's going on? Why do you look like that?
It seems that all mates appear in online mode here.
Isn't online mode for Rhyme? I've only seen your online form in your settings panel. That voice just now said something about Rhyme.
That appears to be the case. However, our physical location has not changed.
Field setup complete. Deploying field.
Beep.
Ren, human game Ren is cute too. Yeah, his outfit is surprisingly high fantasy. Yes. Ridiculous, creepy, cute nightmare, let's go.
Alba.
Ren pushes me away as I tumble to the floor. A powerful blast of air presses just above my head. What was that?
This is a public rhyme field. We've been pulled into a rhyme match against our will.
What? Is that even...
Something's coming.
My eyes go wide when I see what it is. A rabbit. No, a person wearing a rabbit's head. We're really in Rhyme?
Thank you for coming on this felicitous occasion. Shall we get the party started?
Here it comes.
Here, what comes? What am I supposed to...
Whoop.
Set. Death. Roger. Huh? That was close. Hey, wait a minute. don't play rhyme. Cut it out. Handle. Sly Blue. Can I have the giant white bunny plush? It's creepy and looks straight out of hell. It would be perfect in my room. I actually have a noise Nendoroid, and it comes with the little rabbit cubes. Serigaki Alba. Oh, this I guess would be the voice of Noise. Noise is kind of like a hacker punk. Yeah. Yeah, get fucked. Yeah, I'll defeat you. This kind of voice. You're gonna step to me, you're gonna get crushed. Yeah, that's kind of what my voice is. Yeah. All right. How do you know my name? What's this Sly whatever? Fight. I've never even played rhyme before. Fight. I've said I've never done this before. Fight. He's not listening. Let's run. Ren, isn't there something you can do? Like a command to get us out of here? I tried, but the logout function has been disabled. What the hell is going on here? Ow. Oh, are you alright? Noise is the reason I like piercings. Well, I can understand that. Yeah, but it hurts like hell. Rhyme is normally safe. There are limits in place to prevent damage to the body, but somehow these limits have been removed. You mean, damage taken here may cause physical harm? We're totally screwed. You can run, but you can't hide. I look up to see the rabbit peering at me from a nearby block. Set. Loss. Roger. Shit. There was no way I can dodge in time, but just as I brace myself for impact, Ren leaps out in front of me. Ugh. You okay? My head. Ren. Set. Jubilation. Alba, just do it. Understood. Well, one of the reasons. The singer of Black Veil Brides is another big reason for that. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the band in particular, but there's an entire era of scene and emo band leaders that would definitely set a thirst for piercings and tattoos in an entire generation of teenagers. Scanning.
What a joke. An absolute all-mate with no armor? What kind of noob does he think I am? No armor? He must think he's some kind of pro. Let's show him who's boss. I think I'm gonna give him a smug nerd accent instead. Huh?
Oh god, I didn't realize this was gonna have a fucking seizure warning. What? Don't zoom in on it. Huh? Beep.
Hit. 3 defense units lost. Def down 12 points. Son of a bitch.
Huh. What did I just do? Ren, what the hell was that? You ordered me to attack. Attack? Attack? How? I don't know any attacks. It almost felt like my mouth had a mind of its own. He's coming again. Your orders. Orders? Orders? But I guess we're screwed if I don't do something. Just have to do it like before. Ren, block. Understood.
Set. Demolish. Roger.
Shit. Ooh. We got messed up. Also, this reminded, you know how there's like a large number of visual novels, including the aforementioned ones that were established as eroge and then became wider, big franchises, and they all got like fighting games, right? Where's my dramatical murder fighting game? Rhyme is right here. There's both a real-world capture the flag battle game that's established in setting and a virtual battle game established in setting. Give me my spin-off game. What are you doing, Nitro Chiral? Use your IP.
Enemy shield depleted.
Oh, no, wrong button.
I guess he wasn't that after all. All that after all. Let's get out of here. Aye. Or not. Hold on. Enemy shield recovering. Crazy fast. 40, 50, 70, 90. What's going on? What's happening? Alert. Danger. What?
Ooh. Death and destruction.
Ugh, my head is killing me. What the hell happened? Ow.
When I come to, I'm lying on the sidewalk. I slowly push myself up, fighting the pain in my body. Though wobbly, I manage to stand.
Ouch. Seriously, what happened?
Excuse me. Albert got some DID problems going on, or what? I mean, from what I understand, it's complicated. I think the answer is it is complicated. Clutching at my head, I struggle to make some sense of my jumbled memories. I was making a delivery, and when I suddenly got pulled into a rhyme match, and that weird guy with the rabbit head showed up. Oh, I'm outside Junk Shop Habon. Which is what the Japanese up there says, even though it's been localized to something else. I'm back at the shop? How? What happened to my delivery? I look around and see a furry blue lump on the ground. Ren! I pick him up, but he doesn't respond. Hey! I tap him gently on the head. Oba. After a beat, Ren opens his eyes. Relief washes over me. You okay? No serious issues. Really? Nothing's broken? Some of my data is corrupted. Isn't that serious? The rhyme battle must have damaged Ren too. I'll take a look at you once we get home. Please do, just to be safe. Yeah, it feels like some of my data's been corrupted too. Well, I remember fighting with that rabbit head guy, but what exactly happened at the end? Those memories are corrupted. Huh. Hang on, maybe I can remember something. Fighting through the pain in my head, I close my eyes and search my memories. But the harder I try to remember, the more it slips out of reach. Damn, I can't remember anything. You can't help that. Really? What makes you say that? If we value the average human male's mental storage capacity to 100, the value of yours would be... Is this really the time to be cracking jokes? Alba? I'm feeling kind of dizzy. Hey, have you always had 8 legs?
Alba.
Why is everything spinning? Which way is down? I can't... Wait here. As Ren runs off, I start laughing. Oh, 3 Rens. Neat. And that's when I black out. Afterward, Ren gets Mr. Hager, and he takes me inside. Hager. Even though I lost the package he asked me to deliver, Mr. Hager just smiles and tells me to go home for the day. I take him up on the offer. The bird zoomed through my house with full speed. Yo. Granny must not be home yet, as the house is still dark. After flipping the lights on in the entryway, I head for the kitchen, grab my medicine off the shelf, and take a bigger dose than usual. It really should be taken with food, but I need to get the headache under control. Maybe I'm just relieved to be home, but it feels like my exhaustion has suddenly caught up with me. I can barely move. Desperate to collapse into bed, I trudge up the stairs to my room. I take Ren out of my bag and set him on the bed, then take my jacket off and lie down. I lost the package I was supposed to deliver and even ended up leaving work early. I feel terrible, especially after the kindness Mr. Hager showed me. What's going on with me? It's all because of that weird rabbit guy. And Rhyme. Is that what everyone's so worked up about? I slowly sit up. Thinking about that virtual space is just making me feel worse. My headache hasn't gone away. The medicine must not have kicked in yet. Fortunately, I have just a thing for times like this. I pick up my headphones from the pile with my jacket and put them on. This CG is a mood. What a mood. Me in bed, but gay. I mean, does a gay little nap to piss you off? I select one of my favorite songs on my coil, close my eyes, and let my music take me. Music has always helped me relax whenever I'm feeling restless or unwell. It's just me and the music. Everything else fades away. Sorry, every time that the text box disappears like that and I expect the text to proceed, it's because I hit the space bar, because in a lot of visual novels that also progresses the text, but it doesn't in this one, and I keep forgetting. Oh, speaking of, I'm going to make a manual save because somebody I remember being warned about this game being prone to crashing. S. This is the I'm lonely and need a hug position to listen to music, yeah. Slowly the music melds with my heartbeat, and I feel myself drifting on the waves. The melody whirls around me, softly caressing my body. The sound soaks through my skin and into my blood, circulating gently through my veins. Multicolored lights flutter through the darkness, like delicate pieces of film. It feels pleasant, comforting. This is a place for me alone, where no one else can trespass. The discordant pain in my head and body grow distant as the peaceful sound spreads through me. Faint sighs spill from my lips, almost like the music is pushing them from my lungs. It feels so good. I'm deeper in than usual today. The world around me has ceased to exist. If I can just fall asleep like this, I know I'll wake up recharged and refreshed. If I can just fall asleep. A sound. I open my eyes slightly, but I'm still pretty out of it. I don't know what I heard. Well, whatever. I close my eyes again. This place. I know it well. I'm sitting on a sandy beach talking to someone whose words are more precious than gold, words that seem to glitter in the sunlight. Alba, you sure you're listening to music, my boy? Because music don't make you make sounds like these. Binaural beats, I guess. ASMR soundtrack. What did he say? I can't remember. I can't remember those precious words. Ouch. Something sharp is poking me. Wake up, you. Hey, get up. Ow. I said wake up or I'm gonna kick her ass. What the fuck? I jump up. That thing that poking my face tumbles off and I catch it in midair. Betty? Ah, let go of me. Is this how you treat a guest? Benny glares at me, flapping his wings against my hand. Sokachaku's here? Of course he is. Let me go. I stand up, still clutching the shrieking Benny. Huh? Where's Ren? I find him curled up on the corner of my bed. He's in sleep mode. Which reminds me, he said he'd lost some data. I've got to take a look at him soon. But first, food. Whew, I'm feeling much better thanks to my nap. Even my headache is gone. My joints still ache, but I can move. When I leave my room, a delicious smell greets me from downstairs. Granny's back. When I look down at my coil, I realize it's already dinner time. How did it get so late? You wouldn't get your ass out of bed, so I had to take matters into my own talons. You got that, punk? I ignore Benny's whining and poke my head into the dining room. Granny is at the counter. Kajaku is sitting at the table. He grins when he sees me. Morning. Morning. I see you haven't lost your sunny disposition. No thanks to you. I can't hold back a yawn. Here. I toss Benny across the room at Kajaku. He catches him easily. I go out of my way to wake you up and this is how you treat me? You better watch your back, Alba. Take it up with your master. He's the one who makes you run his errands. What do you expect? You're a pain in the ass when you wake up. I am not. If you're up, you go set the table. Food's done. Okay. While Kajaku laughs, I hurry to do Granny's bidding. Ms. Tay never changes. That booming voice of hers puts me right at ease. You try getting yelled at every day. It's no cakewalk. I glare at him as he sets the chopsticks out of the table. This only makes him laugh harder. Granny brings over the food while I pour 3 cups of tea. With dinner ready, I join everyone at the table. Thanks for the food. Dinner tonight is blanched fish, kombu stir-fry, and pork belly. I start with the pork belly. Delicious. I find that food tastes especially good after I've had a nice nap. To my right, Kajaku shoots Granny a smile. Absolutely delicious. Your cooking really is the greatest. You come into my house uninvited and that's all you have to say? I thought you knew I was coming. I told Alba. I glare at him again. All you said is that you'd swing by soon. And what's with you sleeping like a log? I called and you wouldn't get up. Okay, I guess you're right. You don't know how grateful I am to have a proper meal like this. Don't get the wrong idea. Just because I happen to have food that was about to expire is all. That's why I love you. Shut up and eat. Granny stuffs kombu into her face while Kajaku watches with a smile. Granny is actually surprisingly fond of Kajaku. Even though Kajaku came to the island with his mother when we were kids, he was alone more often than not. That's why he spent so much time hanging out with me, and of course he ate plenty of Granny's cooking too. And knowing Granny, she might even think of him like a second grandson. Are you spending the night? Without missing a beat, Kajaku stops shoveling rice into his mouth and nods. That's the idea. Don't you have any shame? Are you really surprised? Anyway, I have to work tomorrow, so I'm going to kick you out of bed in the morning even if you're sleeping. Don't you have that backwards? I'm always the one who wakes you up. Gently, of course. Got that right. You guys. Kajaku flashes an infuriatingly charming smile and goes back to stuffing his face. The banter continues until the food is gone. After showering, I head for the living room while drying my hair with a towel around my neck. Granny is watching TV while sipping tea. That is an underwhelming representation of a pride flag, but hey, you do you, video game. I like that it's a Cyberpunk thing made in 2012, and they very clearly have a CRT and VHS combo. That's neat. Kajaku isn't there. Where's Kajaku? He went upstairs to your room, I imagine. Oh, by the way, Granny, what? I've been getting these really awful headaches lately. I've been taking my meds as usual, but it's not working. Granny finally pulls her eyes off the TV to look at me. She's always told me to let her know if anything changes with my headaches. It's not working at all? Corporate-friendly pride flag. I mean, there are twinks getting dicked down in this video game. If that is okay, but a pride flag isn't. Priorities have been wildly skewed. I mean, I guess her grandma tried best for her grandson. Yes, she's doing her best. Even though I have a feeling that Alba is probably not out to anyone at this point in the story. I'm pretty sure Tae is very much aware. New pride flag, twink getting dicked down. Yeah. It's not working at all? I don't know about at all, but it's definitely worse than usual. I see. I'll try adjusting the formula a little. I don't know what I'd do without you. I bow deeply. Granny snorts, returning her attention to the TV. All right, so Kajaku's in my room. I head upstairs. My whole body throbs each time I take a step. Ugh. I may not have any visible injuries, but I feel a pain deep in my core. Is it because I took damage in rhyme? For a fight that was all in my head, it sure hurts like a bitch. During that battle, with that weird rabbit head guy, Ren said that damage limits were disabled. Is that even possible? Despite the pain, I finished climbing the stairs and head into my room. Listen, Grandma knows better than Alba for sure. Yeah. But she's being patient. She's not going to rush him to come out when he's ready. Huh? Kajako isn't here. Neither is Ren. But then I noticed that the door to the balcony is open a crack. I look out to find Kajako leaning against the railing. He's gazing at the city, a thin cigarette between his fingers, blowing white smoke through his pursed lips. I don't know why, but Kajako only smokes in my room. Well, on the balcony of my room. He never does it in front of women, or at work, or when he's out drinking. Just here. I guess he feels like he can let his guard down here. In public, he never drops his confident smile. It always looks like he's having fun. But maybe it's not so easy to have women hanging off you all the time. Kajako brings the cigarette back into his mouth. Though his hands are angular and masculine, something about the dim light make his fingers look long and beautiful. Those fingers must be very nimble, given his line of work. How is this allowed, Rando of Blood? I don't know. Well. I mean, this game is still, for the most part, a nice conversation about a cyberpunk future that is startlingly relevant to the modern era without hypermask American posturing. And how is that allowed as a video game? I don't know, but I'm glad it is. But the spiciness of this video game is probably not going to show up in the demo, so we're safe. Yeah, that's nice. She's patient. Also, that cigarette is super long. I mean, yeah. I guess, this is a cyberpunk cigarette where that's not just going to, snap in half. Oh, sorry. Wrong button. Kajako is holding Ren, with Benny on Ren's head. They appear to be in sleep mode. I'd be worried about dropping them, but I trust Kajako not to be careless. A thin cigar, yeah. I grab the ashtray I keep in my room and open the door to the balcony. Kajako smiles softly upon seeing me. Yo, finished your bath? I thought you'd be in the living room. I just needed a little pick-me-up. Kajako gestures with his cigarette. You really like it out here, huh? Dream Daddy is allowed and so is GTA, so why not this? Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Dream Daddy has no peen in it. Dream Daddy is very, very chaste, and this game is considerably less chaste. But this official translation, as I understand, is going to release on Steam censored. So, as far as I am aware, there will be nothing in this that will break terms of service. And there definitely isn't going to be anything that breaks terms of service in the demo. So we should be okay. Do I? Maybe you're right. It's not like there's anything to see, I guess. But isn't it better that way sometimes? Really? I don't get it. Kajako chuckles. Here. I present the ashtray and Kajako stubs out his cigarette. I set it down by my feet and join him at the railing. Ugh. True. Dream Daddy has lots of double meanings, but nothing shows up. Man, Steam is host to 1 million hentai games, but any queer content is removed. Yes, that is very true and very annoying. For those who missed the opening of the stream, one of the reasons why I wanted to stream it, in addition to it being a game that I enjoy, people talk a lot about how games like Tsukahime and Fate Stay Night and Song of Sire are really important, complex pieces of early visual novel writing. And all of those are eroge in one way or another. And Song of Sire in particular is almost impossible to recommend because of how triggering the content in it is. But because this game has gay relationships in it, nobody talks about it as a really well-made piece of media that also happens to be, queer. Can I get the terms of service breaking one? As I understand, the people who are localizing this, who I believe are Just USA, will be selling the uncensored version of it on their website. But we can dig into that a little bit when we wrap up. I'll double check the places that you can obtain this from, but I'm pretty sure that off Steam it will be sold in the uncensored version. Song of Saya, Saya. It is a very harrowing piece of eldritch horror that has sexual abuse of minors in it. It is a hard to recommend, incredibly difficult to recommend. There isn't a game like it out there, and I don't think anybody will be making a game like it soon. Yeah, just remembered what Song of Saya is. Yes. And people do talk about it as a really kind of like unique piece of media of what visual novels and video games can do. And I agree, it definitely is a very unique thing. And its soundtrack is also phenomenal. And its writing in places, how it does the writing of the eldritch horror, very effective. But the content, oh dear God. Urban Friend and I will be buying Aegis Rim on PS4 in about a week or so. When Monster Hunter Rise releases physically, I'm going to be killing multiple birds at once. Oh, I can say Ruben. Cool. Fair enough. Some people feel variably about those kind of bits and pieces. When Monster Hunter Rise releases, because I am going to be playing that on stream with people, I am also going to kill multiple birds with one stone and get Persona 5 Strikers and Aegis Rim simultaneously. So I'm just waiting until I do all three at once instead of doing like multiple deliveries to my house, because nobody wants to be fucking around with multiple packages, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Kajaku frowns at me. How many times do I have to tell you? Your hair. You have to dry it better. Kajaku reaches out. He's going to touch my hair. I flinch at the thought, but it's not my hair he's going for. It's my nose. Ah. Listen to the guy who cuts hair for a living. Stop it. I shake him off, but he just smiles. It's gotten pretty long. Still cutting it yourself? Yeah, I'm not really looking for criticism from a pro. I just do whatever. I mean, it's not half bad. Everything's more or less where it should be. For real? Oh my god, Kajaku complicated? Oh, right. I see what he's doing. For real? OMG, Kajaku complimented me? I could just die. What's that supposed to be? I'm just imitating our fans. Man. Kajaku laughs. I have a good reason for not getting my hair cut. I don't know why, but I was born with feeling in my hair. That means cutting it is seriously painful. Once it gets past my shoulders, the sensation is dull enough that I can just cut the ends. People have teased me relentlessly when I was little, saying that I look like a girl because of my long hair. Even a slight touch sends chills up my spine, so they thought it would be funny to pull my hair. Needless to say, it was hell. Then bullies tormented me. It was always Kajaku who came to my rescue. Actually, Kajaku thought I was a girl at first too. He was pretty surprised when he found out he was wrong, but his attitude towards me didn't really change. That's a fucking horror beat. Hair with feeling. Yes. I mean, it is implemented in this story specifically so the hot boys in this video game can touch him in a way that makes it go like, ugh, without it having to be like, nude, saucy. And that is a reasonable device. This is before the era of ASMR being a thing, so I see that. But yeah. Also, this game is a psychological thriller with some definite horror elements in it, so I am sure there are some bad ends in this game that play with the fact that he's got nerve sensation in his hair. Sounds like my mom is super complicated for her to go to a hairdresser without the sexy side of things. Yeah. Fair enough. That would definitely make trips to the barber a lot more complicated, so I'm glad that she doesn't have to go through that side of it as going to. I have to admit, that made me happy. You're lucky to have such beautiful hair. You take better care of it. You should take better care of it. I've always wondered how you can say stuff like that. That's the one thing that hasn't really changed since we were kids. I only say it because I mean it. Personally, I always knew it made you happy, even though you tried to hide it. I've seen the endings and I don't think they do. Fair enough. I know that some of the bad endings are like, ooh, but fair enough that that's not one of them. Kajaku affects a far-off dreaming look, and I give him the most annoyed glare I can muster. I was a kid. I don't really remember. A dull pain shoots down my shoulders as I gently dry off the tips of my hair. Ow! This pain, is it still from rhyme? What's the matter? Nothing. It doesn't look like nothing. And you were out of it earlier, too. It was a bit more of American in the deep voice. There we go. Well, what's with you? You've been weird all night. No, I haven't. Should I tell Kajaku about rhyme? Kajaku can be pretty perceptive, and he already realizes something's going on. If I try to lie now, he's not going to buy it. Well, something weird happened today. Like I guess I got forced into a rhyme match or something. Forced into a rhyme match. It just happened out of nowhere, you know. 1 minute I'm on my way to make a delivery, and the next I'm standing on a rhyme field. Are you sure this wasn't a dream? It wasn't a dream. So you're telling me, wait, is that even possible? That's what I'd like to know. It happened near your territory in one of those alleys. I've never heard of anything like that. That wasn't the only weird part. Usui wasn't there. Now that is weird. That thing's supposed to be in charge of rhyme, right? It brings the screen and ring and stuff. Right. Also, I tell Kajaku about the rabbit head guy, including the fact that he knew my name. As he listens, Kajaku's frown grows. He lets out a groan when I've finished. It sounds like you got ganked. Ganked? I've only heard about it from those guys in my gang, but apparently there are the guys who can force you to fight. There's no Usui, no rules or limits. I hear some guys have ended up in the hospital. So that's what happened to me? I got ganked or whatever? It's possible, still. I don't like it. Like what? You got away this time, but what if it happens again? That shit can mess you up, right? Rhyme match sounds what Abe Simpson would call a rap battle. Yeah, rhyme is a really interesting name for gacked like the singer. I think ganked is definitely a localization choice in this. Also, gacked as a person would aesthetically be a very strong fit for this game. If this game was published by Square Enix, he would definitely push for a character role in it somewhere. What I don't get is that I don't even play rhyme. Did he confuse me with someone else? You could have just been a random target, or maybe someone just hates your guts. Yeah, right. I'm not you. Ouch. Yeah, right. I'm not you. Ouch. But you said he knew your name, right? Well, yeah. I played the gacked hack and slash. It sucked, but it had gacked. Fair enough. Kajaku? I really should play, is it like Crisis Core? He inserts himself into one of the Final Fantasy VII spin-offs. I'm not quite sure if it's Crisis Core or Dirge of Cerberus, but I'm interested to see what the fuck that even is, because that's such a wild concept. Kajaku falls silent, a troubled expression on his face. A few moments later, he sighs. Sorry, I think I'm actually going to head home. I forgot that there's something I need to do. Huh? Oh, sure. Kajaku pushes off the handrail. You sure you're okay? Yeah. I'll take your word for it, but if something happens, you'd better tell me. I know. Good. Kajaku flashes me a knowing smile and places Ren in my hands. Then he collects Benny from Ren's head and tucks him into his kimono. Good night. Night. Kajaku waves farewell and heads out. It's Crisis Core. Very good. Fair enough, thank you. I go back inside and shut the door to the balcony behind me. How long have I been playing for? I've been playing for about 2.5 hours. I want to see noise on screen before I stop playing, but I don't know how far in that is. I go back inside and shut the door to the balcony behind me. After I set Ren on the bed, I lie down next to him. Rhyme. Was I really ganked? When we were on the rhyme field, Ren appeared in online mode and responded to my commands. Set something. What was it? When it happened, my mouth just started moving on its own, almost like I was possessed. What the hell was that? And why did it feel familiar? It felt kind of like it does when I'm turning on the charm with customers on the phone. Like when I know just the right words to say to win someone over. Anyway, I wonder how often gankings happen. Maybe I should look into that. Not that I really want to dig in too deep. A message. The latest All-Mate models, huh? Spam. New models are coming out all the time. I skim the message and then close my coil. I've always been the type to develop sentimental attachments to the things I use, but I guess most people in the world aren't like that. Whatever. Ren's all I need. That's right. I need to give Ren a checkup. I sit up in bed and tap the furry blue lump in my lap. Alba. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to take a look at you now. Ren is an older model, so fixing any serious malfunctions would be a real pain in the ass. I have to make sure to keep a close eye on him and perform regular maintenance. I pick up a long cable connected to my desktop PC and plug it into the port beneath the fur on Ren's neck. I open my coil and run a system diagnostic. Looks like your reaction speed might be a little slow. I pick up the toolbox sitting on the floor. Parting Rand's fur again, I use a screwdriver to open a small square hatch on the back of his neck. With most all-mates, you can do all the maintenance you need from your coil, but Ren is such an old model that I have to fiddle with his insides directly. Using tweezers, I pull out some new chips from the toolbox and swap them out with the ones in Ren's neck. That should do it. I shut the maintenance hatch, close the control panel, unplug the cable, then pick Ren up. How's that? Feel anything weird?
Something does feel a little strange. However, it is within acceptable parameters.
Okay, well, I did just change some chips. Let me know right away if anything goes wrong.
Understood.
Stretching. I stroke Ren's neck. I stroke Ren's back and nuzzle my forehead against his. I always do this after performing maintenance on Ren. I don't remember when I started, but it's become a kind of ritual, like knocking on wood. Thanks for everything.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for everything.
No, it's the wrong way around. Thanks for everything.
It's my pleasure, Alba.
I'm counting on you, buddy.
It's my pleasure, Alba.
You always say that.
Is that strange?
No, not at all. It's just like you.
I wonder if I should thank you for that remark.
You should. It was a compliment.
Thank you.
It is my pleasure. I nuzzle Ren's forehead with mine again, then set him down on the bed. Ren never changes. No matter what, we'll always be together. Well, that feels like ominous foreshadowing. After that, I take my time putting away my tools, chatting with Ren all the while. Good morning. Good morning. The next day I go to work like usual. Mr. Hager is doing inventory when I get in. The first thing I do after I put my bag behind the counter and set Ren down is go over to Mr. Hager. I have to apologize for what happened yesterday. Boss. Yes? I'm sorry about the delivery yesterday. Huh? Oh, that's already been... His expression darkens, scaring me a bit. Maybe the customer yelled at him after I lost the package? If that's what happened, it's all on me. I'm really sorry. I'd like to apologize to the customer too, if I can. Oh, well, about that. Mr. Hager adjusts his glasses, a worried look on his face. The customer already paid for that item, so I needed to ask whether they needed a refund or a replacement, but I couldn't get a hold of them. I even tried contacting the control center, but nothing. Nothing? Yes, nothing worked. Since the billing and shipping addresses were the same, I checked the address first, but the person there had a different name. I had no recollection of ordering anything from us. So it was a prank? There's a good chance it was. I don't understand why anyone would do that, though. He's right. If it was a prank, what would the prankster even get out of it? They already paid for the item. They'd just be out that money. I don't really think we need to do anything. I don't think we need to do anything else at this point, but something doesn't feel right. Yeah. I was dragged into that rhyme battle during that delivery. Could they be related? An air of unease hangs over us, but there is no more time to look for answers. Oh my, we should open up. Mr. Hager hurries out of the shop. I don't like leaving it like this, but Mr. Hager's investigation turned up nothing and I have no further clues. Guess I'd better get to work. Resolved to forget about it, I take my place behind the counter. The morning passes uneventfully. After breaking for lunch, I start my afternoon shift. Mr. Hager's out, leaving me alone in the shop. Yes. Well, I look forward to hearing from you again. I take a breather after getting off the phone with the customer. Noise kicked your butt and took his package, that's all. Yeah, pretty much. The usual voice trick worked on this guy, so I managed to sell him all sorts of crap. It was a little annoying, though. He called before, and he really hadn't wanted to hang up. I'm still shaking off my disgust when the doorbell rings. A customer? I stop leaning on the counter and stand up straight.
Hiya. You came to play.
Oh, it's you. It's just the evil trio. I let an exaggerated sigh and go back to leaning on the counter. Nothing ever good comes from them showing up. I don't need trouble. Just get out of here.
You're so annoying.
Annoying. You just shut your stupid mouth, okay? Ugh. These stupid brats. They immediately find Junker and start chasing him around.
There it is. Wait up. Catch it.
Cleaning. Junker flees as fast as he can. Poor robot, yeah. He's clever for an all-mate and surprisingly agile too, so he's not exactly easy to catch, but that only makes the brats more determined. Hey, no running.
I'm gonna get you. Wait. Catch it already. Come on. Cleaning.
Hold on, that shelf is wobbling, and that cardboard box sure looks like it's about to fall. I should probably get up and stop it, but the thought is a moment too late.
No way. Something broke. It broke.
And whose fault was that, you brats?
Wow, Alba's mad. Mad. I hate quick-tempered men.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Hey, you too. I grabbed the three of them by their collars and tossed them out of the shop.
Ouch. Meanie, you're mean.
Oh, just shut up already, or I'll show you how mean a grown-up can get. I placed my hands on my hips, doing my best impression of an intimidating teacher. All you do is horse around. Why do you think about what you've done? And get your butts home.
You're so annoying. Shut up, stupid. Stupid Alba. You're so lame, old geezer.
Why, you little...
Get out of here.
The brats take off running. Damn it. That was pretty immature even for me. Those brats really get to me, you know? I guess I better clean up the mess they left. Sheesh. I think this is where we meet Claire. I thought I heard something just now. Whoa! Something fell out of the sky! Dead. Poor 40. It looks like a man, but a man from the sky? He's lying face down on the pavement. He's not dead, is he? Oh, I mean, he is even more twink than Albert is, honestly. The man gets up groaning. He's alive. My relief is fleeting though. When the man looks up, I freeze. He doesn't have a face. Well. No, wait, that's just a gas mask. Well, that was unexpected. The man looks around, ruffling his hair. He seems fine, but it sounded like he hit the ground pretty hard. Why is he wearing a gas mask? He turns to look at me. I blink and hold my breath, hoping he'll ignore me and go away. Excuse me, I'm just looking for my son Shinra. No such luck. He walks right up to me. Master, I'm so glad you're all right. Huh? Master? I followed the sound of your voice. What the hell's he talking about? Is something wrong? I think you've got me confused with someone else. Someone else? I don't know who this master person is, but it's not me. No, you're my master. Like I said, you've got it wrong. I've never even seen you before. That's not true. I'm Claire. I carried you back here yesterday. Claire! You carried me here? Yesterday. Come to think of it, I woke up here right after getting sucked into that rhyme battle. Wait, are you the one who pulled me into rhyme? I couldn't see the rabbit guy's face, and I think he had a similar outfit. No, that wasn't me. But I thought you were my master, so I carried you here. We're going in circles. I heard your voice yesterday, Master. Death and destruction. What? That sounds kind of familiar. Where did you hear that? Ugh! Suddenly, he pinches my cheeks. Ow, that hurts. Master, you seem kind of different today. Looser, maybe? It's hard to describe. The guy in the gas mask shakes his head with a sigh. What is with this guy? Let me go. Okay. Damn, that hurt. What's wrong with this guy? He cocks his head to the side, puzzled, as I rub my cheeks with tears in my eyes. Just to confirm, you are my master, right? I told you I'm not. I think you are. I take some deep breaths, trying to cool my head. Calm down. He's just trying to get you riled up. This is hot boy number 5. I decide to turn the tables. He's playing dumb, but maybe he'll show his true colors if I piss him off enough. If he was the rabbit guy from yesterday, I have every intention of delivering some payback. Hey! I launch a kick at his ass. He arches backward, clutching his butt. Oh, Master, please don't do that. Huh? He sinks to his knees, wailing. Please, Master, it's already cracked. I can't take anymore. Yeah, no way. No way he's the same guy. I should get this over with and send him on his way. Anyway, I'm not your master and I have work to do. Bye. What about me? Go home. Understood. He nods obediently and starts digging around in his pockets. Slowly, he pulls out a vinyl umbrella. How the hell did he fit that in there? Are you a magician? Are you a magician? Oh, whoops. No, I told you. My name is Claire. Who's this magician? Forget it. Goodbye. He opens the umbrella, spins around, and walks away. What the hell? I watch him go, shaking my head. I'll just go back inside. It feels like I had an encounter with mischievous spirit or something. Let's pretend that never happened. When I get back inside, I find Junker all shaken up. Cleaning. Right, I completely forgot. Those brats made a complete mess of the shop. Oh, man. First the kids, then some weird guy in a gas mask. Today's just one of those days. Watch the anime. I have seen, I think maybe the first 3 episodes of the anime, and then it swiftly fell off it. It's one of those things where there's anime adaptations of a story-driven video game, and there's no way that they can really cram the complexity of the narrative into like a 12-episode cur. And because even if you remove like the saucy CGs, the romantic relationships are such a big part of this game, and they have to be made way more tame for the nature of it being an anime. I actually have no idea how they could sensibly land that, but anyway. Fighting off a wave of exhaustion, I start cleaning up. That evening, after I finished work, I head to Mizuki's with a package. We'd just gotten an order from Mizuki's shop, so I'd figured I'd taken the opportunity to stop by. Some of those scenes were released as OVAs, unsurprisingly. Mizuki's shop, the Black Needle, is just north of Humdrum Junk. It started off as just a tattoo parlor, but after he turned the waiting room into a bar, it became something of a social spot too. Tattoos are pretty popular in the city, both as fashion statements and to indicate rib affiliation, so Mizuki's shop does pretty well. Of course, Mizuki is one of the artists, so he'd ing me if I asked. I have no interest in that stuff, though. The sun is starting to set by the time I approach the Black Needle. This is dry juice territory. Gang members stop the area. I've gotten to know some of them, though, through Mizuki, so I usually don't have any trouble passing through. Hey, Alba. Hey, been a while. Claire is technically hot boy number 6. We saw the brothers Mink, Noise, and Kajaku before him. Yeah, Mink shows up as a flash, but you don't get no dialogue, so I decided to not count it, but fair enough. Here for Mizuki? Just delivering his order. He's at the base. Got it, thanks. It's not far. The dry juice base is huge, encompassing several alleys. It's expanded over time as their membership has grown. Its members are scattered throughout the various alleys, but Mizuki can always be found in the same spot. He's standing in front of the staircase covered with a large dry juice tag, talking to some of his members. He waves me over when he sees me. Humdrum Junk Home Delivery, thank you for your business. Oh, is that the stuff I ordered? Thanks. Dry Juice is the name of the gang that he leads. It is an oxymoron, but I guess that's what makes it cool. I hand him the package and send the receipt with my coil. Once Mizuki confirms it, the delivery is complete. Thanks for doing this. I know I can depend on you guys for rare parts. I'll let Mr. Haga know that you said that. You headed home after this. Yeah. Nothing like the end of a hard day's work, huh? I'm about to head back to the shop. Grab a drink with me, will you? Dynamite. If you're buying. I follow Mizuki out of the alley. Gang members greet him as we walk by. A few even bow formally, to which Mizuki smiles awkwardly in response. The Black Needle is tucked away in a black building with only a sign identifying it. Hold on just a second. It is not an important thing I have been pinged with. Good. Stepping through the door, I'm immediately greeted by upbeat music. The waiting room, which also doubles as a bar, is much bigger than you'd think from the outside. In the dim light, I see a few people lounging on couches, reading magazines, or chatting quietly. To the left is the front desk, and to the right is the bar. The door in the back leads to the tattoo studio. While I check out the shop, Mizuki starts talking to the part-timer at the front desk. Pretty slow today, huh? I ask casually after Mizuki's finished. His expression darkens. Yeah. What's wrong? Nah, it's just I told you about it yesterday, didn't I? The disappearances. I mean, juice is a drink. The men in this game are tall drinks for sure, and you can get them dry. That's fitting in my opinion. Somehow getting horny on Maine this evening. Yeah. I think that's why business has been so slow. What, like everyone's scared to go outside? I don't think it's that bad, but the way the customer flow has dropped off, it sure feels that way. Yeah, I get what you mean. I got some more info since then, but I got no idea what's true at this point. Mizuki beckons me, his expression grave. I lean in. People say it really is morphine abducting gangs. No way. I mean, morphine's... Someone's claiming they saw them. That's just some idiot trying to get attention. You don't actually believe it, do you? Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not. That's just what I heard. Hey, you're the one who's streaming this game. I mean, I'm here for the cyberpunk and the anti-police sentiment, but you can be here for things beyond that too. I'm not judging you that hard. Anyway, Nathan doesn't believe in twinks. I'm yet to see a twink. No one can prove that twinks exist. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, now all the rib gangs are getting squirrely because they're scared of getting ambushed. But hey, whatever. Mizuki flashes a defiant smirk. It's got nothing to do with us, even if it is morphine. Not like they're a match for us anyway. Right? I return a smile, but something about it doesn't sit right with me. I think Mizuki's been a little too into rib lately. I hope he doesn't run himself ragged. Why don't we get a drink? Let's head over to the bar. I start towards the bar, but before I can get there, a tattoo design displayed on the front desk catches my eye. It's framed, like it's important. Was this always here? Oh, that? I got it from another tattoo artist I really admire. Cool, right? He's famous, but he doesn't have his own shop. Only inks people he knows. So everyone else he just turns away? Exactly. He dropped by a little while back. That's when he gave it to me. He has this special aura about him. You can tell it's special. He genuinely seems happy. I guess he really liked the guy. I'd like to meet him once, see if he's as amazing as you say. I thought you didn't want a tattoo. I don't. Then the answer is no. Oh, man. If you insist, it'll be 1,000,000 yen. All this talk of ribs is making me hungry, fair enough. 1,000,000? What a rip-off. My coil beeps while we're laughing. Huh? It's a call from Delivery Works. Hello? Oh, thank goodness you answered. Albert dear, is that you? Yes. It's me, Yoshie. What's the matter? Oh my, it's serious. Very serious. Please don't panic, okay? Okay. Miss Tai, she... What? Granny? After I got off the phone, I explained what happened to Mizuki and dashed over to the Delivery Works. According to Miss Yoshie, Granny collapsed on her way to a patient's house to deliver some medicine. She was near Delivery Works when it happened, so they brought her there. I ran as fast as my legs will carry me. My heart is pounding and I'm out of breath. Adrenaline makes my toes and fingers tingle. Granny's collapsed from overwork before. Back then it was my fault because I made her worry. I remember how I trembled with fear at the thought of losing her, and I never want to feel that again. I have to get there faster. Granny! You're all making a big deal out of nothing. That's the first thing out of her mouth when I burst through the door of Delivery Works. Granny Lee's leaning back in a chair. When I see that she's all right, my legs almost give out beneath me. It turns out that Granny just threw out her back. That's why she collapsed. It wasn't a stroke or anything. Don't panic is the last thing to say for real. I know, right? The way Miss Yoshie described it, it sounded like something far more serious. She apologized profusely after I arrived. To be honest, it does feel a bit anticlimactic, but I'm just glad she's all right. That said, Granny can't walk yet, so I have to carry her home.
Really, you're all overreacting.
Granny complains for her perch atop my back. I walk slowly to avoid jostling her too much. Well, what do you expect? We all worry about you, myself included. Yeah, she's so put out. She's so put out by this. She's not happy. I'm still plenty healthy, thank you very much. I know that, but still. Ren patters along behind us. I get a little stiff and you start acting like I'm on my deathbed. Ow, don't kick me. Anyway, let's go to the hospital tomorrow, please. Granny's age isn't about to stop her from throwing a tantrum, and the last thing I want to do is drop her. Though, you know, Granny's pretty light. I've always wanted to have this image of her towering over me. Was she always this small? Plus, this is the first time I've carried her on my back like this. You used to be the one who carried me around. Just, you know, reminiscing about the past. Huh. I had to do that because you'd always wander off. I'd wander off? Oh, yes. I'd take my eye off you for a second. You'd be gone? Really? I don't remember that. You're probably just lonely. Lonely? What makes you think that? Because you only started doing it after your parents left. Oh. Right, I only have vague memories of my parents. But I do remember how Granny used to carry me on her back. Her smell and her warmth made me feel so safe. Well, it's understandable. You were pretty little back then, but now you've gone and gotten stupidly big. It'd be weirder if that hadn't changed. You said you shouldn't change. Could you carry me on my back again, just for old time's sake? Why not give it a shot while you've still got your health? Don't be ridiculous. Are you trying to kill me? Just kidding. Granny. What? You sure are light. Shut your pie hole. Ouch! She slaps me upside the head, hard. But it makes me happy for some reason. I smile to myself. I'm so glad Granny was okay. It makes me sad to think that one day she might not be there to smack me or yell at me anymore. I walk quietly down the darkening street, feeling her warmth against my back. The next morning, I carry Granny to the neighborhood hospital. I made sure to ask Mr. Hager for the day off, just in case. We call it a hospital, but this is the old residential district. It's an old, cramped facility, understaffed and overcrowded. The building is falling apart, and not even the kindest of descriptions would include the word sanitary. Still, everyone there was kind. They've known Granny for a long time. They've told us to come right in when I called. Granny hates going to the hospital, always insisting she can take care of herself. But today she behaves and lets them examine her. Maybe she's more in pain than she lets on. They tell us she's all right to recover at home, so I carry her back after the examination's over. When I put Granny to bed and sit down to take a break, she yells at me to get to work already. I want to stay and look after her, but she's having none of it. I call Mr. Hager, who tells me I can come in now and leave early, so I give up and head for work. Oh, my neck's starting to get stiff as well, so I really want to go and take a break soon. We'll persevere a bit more. Because of the current circumstances we'll go until 10 p.m. and then we'll move over regardless of where we are in the plot. I'm standing behind my desk worrying about Granny when the message arrives. That's from Kajaku. So I saw Mizuki earlier. He's acting weird. I tried to talk to him, but he just stared at me. I think he might have an easier time talking to you if something's eating at him. Call him later when you have a chance. We'll talk more later. If Kajaku felt the need to message me about it, Mizuki must have really been acting strange. Maybe Mizuki's been pushing himself too hard. If that was me, I couldn't carry my granny around like that. She's too heavy. Yeah, I wouldn't have. My nana was really tall. I wouldn't have been able to carry her like that either. Maybe Mizuki's been pushing himself too hard. I head to the bathroom to call Mizuki. Hey, Mizuki? Alba, what's up? The sound of his voice, I feel a wash of relief. Nothing really, I just wanted to say hi. What's with you, man? We just saw each other yesterday. You're acting weird. Well, I guess I was just wondering if you were doing okay. Of course I am. Why? I don't know, I guess you seemed a little down yesterday is all. So you called because you were worried about me? Thanks. I'm fine. You sure? Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we should talk more later. Sure. Later. I head back to the counter with a sigh. Mizuki's voice didn't have its usual energy. He said he was fine, and I thought it better not to push the subject, but first granite collapses, now I have this to worry about. Though I hope my concerns are unfounded, they stay with me through the rest of the afternoon. I barely get any work done. Arriving home from work, I pull out my key with some apprehension. I hope Granny has behaved herself. But as I put the key in the door... Huh? Don't tell me. It's open. Yeah, this is noise. I think this is where noise is introduced, so we can get through this and we can stop. The door isn't locked. Did I forget to lock it again? Shit. Granny's home. What if something happened? You live in a pretty tight-knit community, but the town being what it is, burglaries are not at all uncommon. I listen carefully as I enter the house, feeling sick to my stomach. How could I be so careless? No sign of an intruder. I take off my shoes and head straight for Granny's room. I quietly open the door and peer inside. Granny is there, asleep under her comforter. Looks like she's fine. I heave a sigh of release and close the door. I pause on the stairs. Something feels off. Granny is sleeping, so the house is quiet. Nothing is out of place. Maybe it was just my imagination. While pondering this, I climbed the stairs and opened the door to my room, at which point I immediately realized it wasn't my imagination at all. What the... I'm not exactly proud of it, but my room has never been what you'd call clean. I had books and magazines piled up on the floor, plus all sorts of other stuff I left out because it was less annoying than cleaning it up. But I don't remember it being quite this bad. My room is a complete disaster. It looks like a tornado ripped through it. There isn't even anywhere to stand. All the shelves have been pulled out and the table is upside down. But that isn't even the most unsettling thing amid the mess. A man is sitting in front of my computer, his back to me like it's his room, not mine. This was exactly what I was afraid of. Thief! Where do you get off breaking into someone's room? Here it is. Hot boy number 7. He looks up slowly, like he only just noticed I was there. I've never seen the man before. He looks about my age. You're back. Who the hell are you, and what are you doing in my room? Look, man. He just ignores me as I stand there, trembling with rage, and taps the keyboard with his middle finger. Hey, don't touch my stuff. The data on this thing makes no fucking sense. How do you even manage this? And these all-mate models is something else. Where'd you learn to do this? What's it to you? Just get out. He rises to his feet with a snort. You saying you don't know who I am? Huh? I think you do know. I have no idea. You got me confused with someone else. He stares right at me and then opens his mouth. Thank you for coming on this felicitous occasion. Shall we get the party started? Huh? Where have I heard that before? I have a really bad feeling about this. Still don't remember? He pulls something out of his pants pocket. It's a keychain with a tiny rabbit head on the end. Huh. It's him. I guess he's satisfied with my reaction because he tosses the keychain aside and looks at me again. Pretty good performance, right? Misdirected delivery and all. You're the one who ganked me, and that delivery, that was you too. Yeah, I found out where you worked, so I figured I'd bring you to me. I paid in advance, so it was no problem for the shop, right? That's not the problem here. Anger wells up inside me as I remember how upset Mr. Hugger was. By the way, you did it before too. What was that skill you used in our battle? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. I want to know how you beat me. Beat you? Did I win that fight? I can't remember. Oh, did I win that fight? I don't remember. Are you deaf? Say something. I don't remember. What? I don't remember anything about how that fight ended. He scowls a bit before returning to his deadpan expression. Don't want to talk, huh? He suddenly grabs me by the collar and slams me into the wall. This guy's stronger than he looks. Then I guess I'll have to beat it out of you. Let me go. You really don't remember? No. He stares into my eyes like he's searching for something. I want a rematch. What? I don't even play right. He shoves me against the wall, into the wall even harder. Still think you can lie your way out of this? I guess I'll just have to take something from you. Huh? I know what's important to you. I know everything. He shoots a meaningful glance at the computer. I know what he means by that, Ren. He's not bluffing. I can feel the threat hanging in the air. He'll really destroy Ren's data if I don't give him what he wants. But the fact is, I don't want to fight in Rhyme. And this guy's starting to piss me off. Gonna fight back. Enough already. I launch a knee, trying to knock him away. But I'm off balance. He blocks me with one hand. Ugh. He pulls my leg out from under me and I slide down the wall to the floor. Ouch. Pain shoots up my back as he climbs on top of me. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Shut up. With a blank expression, he grabs my arm and twists it. Ow! Ah! You only need one arm for Rhyme. Gah! This guy. If you want to stop me, then fight. My elbow groans as he twists my arm backward. I don't want to fight him in Rhyme, and I don't want to get Ren involved either. What should I do? I hear something on the roof. I hear a heavy thump overhead, but I don't have any time to consider what it might be. Ow. I grip my teeth as sharp pain shoots up my twisted arm. Huh? Please unhand my master. Oh, another voice speaks. I turn towards it. You. Hello, master. Somehow the guy in the gas mask is here. The blonde man stands warily, putting some distance between himself and the new arrival. I rub my aching arm and get up. Where'd you come from? The balcony. Master, is he a friend of yours? No, I mean... I look at the balcony. The sliding door is wide open and the lock has been sheared off. What the hell did you do? The door was closed, so I opened it. That's not what I meant. Master? Yes, master is my master. You screwing with me? The intruder glares at the man in the gas mask and then at me. Hey, I have no idea what's going on either. Man, what a disaster. Anyway, please don't bully master. I won't allow it. What a fucking joke. Don't tell me he's actually getting angry. He turns towards the man in the gas mask. I can feel the rage radiating from his back. Hey, I have to stop them. Who's got to clean up this mess? Elba. Huh? The door suddenly swings open and Kajaku bursts in. You okay? Kajaku, why are you... I sent you a message, remember? Then I saw some weirdo gas mask crawling in from the balcony. So I came in as fast as I could. Looks like he brought a friend, too. Kajaku glares at the two of them. As far as I'm concerned, you're both getting in my way. So you're not his friend? As if. Our relationship could not be classified as friendly. Anyway, you two better beat it right now before I both throw you out. Yeah, how you gonna do that? How do you think? I'd like to see you try. He sneers. Big weapon you got there. Overcompensating. He's not going to take such obvious bait, right? I mean, there's no way, right? My heart pounds as Kajaku cracks his knuckles. Oh shit. You have a smart mouth. Why don't I just shut it for you permanently? Hey, wait a minute. Kajaku makes a grab for the blonde guy's collar. Ha! He nimbly dodges Kajaku's attack, drops his hips, and throws a punch. Kajaku shifts before the first man's fist can make contact with his cheek, dodging the blow by a hair. Wait, why am I just watching? I said cut it out, this is my room. They sure are strong. That's the problem. I don't know about the blonde guy, but Kajaku's normally got his patience in spades. But when something does set him off, though, there's nothing stopping him. Magazines and trash and knickknacks go flying or are crushed in the foot as they scuffle. I don't care about the other stuff. Please, just stay away from my computer. For fuck's sake, will you two? And that's when I hear someone storming up the stairs. It's too damn noisy up here. Quiet down. The door bursts open and Granny's roar thunders through the room. And I think that is an excellent point for us to stop. I think that is a fantastic point for us to stop and a nice bit of cliffhanger. Granny joins the fray, like Super Smash Brothers, like splash effect. All right, let's go back to book club scene. Oh, hi, hello. Hello. Ooh, that was a fun session. I played for an entire hour longer than I was expecting to. Game is just that gripping. Game is just that gripping. This game's good, y'all. Dramatical Murder is such a good game. It's such a good game. The world building's really cool, and the art direction's really cool, and the music's really cool. And these are really rowdy boys who all hate each other but love you and set aside their differences to go and smash the state. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? Okay, so on Cyberpunk Book Club, after we go and play our stretch of the game, too many good things to stop playing. Yeah. I wanted to see Noise on camera because the character art, though, his character design is really strong. I really like his design. On Cyberpunk Book Club, what you like to do is that after we go and play the stretch of the game, we like to go and process some of the stuff we put into our eyes. Ideas that we can take away from the game. What is the game trying to say? Because all games are saying something and all art is political. So it's not like the game is saying nothing. Also, what ideas can we take from the game to inspire the art that we produce in our own work? When we're designing games, when we're designing tabletops RPGs, when we're streaming, what kind of ideas can we take? This game says ACAB. Absolutely. This game says ACAB in a way that I didn't even really process when I played the game initially. Like, it was always there. It was really obvious, right? But it never really, like, how to put it? It didn't, even though it's text. It's not subtext, it's just text. But I sat through that being like, yeah, the policeman's really difficult. And I'm thinking like the goofy policeman in like Jet Set Radio. But then even, now I am older, even if it is like, 5-6 years after since I played it, it really sits a lot more. The events over the world over the last year and a half have definitely sharpened this game's political commentary to a much sharper point. It also says fuck big corporations trying to kick people off their houses. Absolutely. And anti-corpse trying to invade and capitalize on indigenous land, which is a big deal. Corporations edging in on indigenous land as well. Well, that's something that the US has been built on for the longest time, but but people tend not to think about it that way. They think of Christopher Columbus and all that shit. But that's been happening onwards for the last year. It's how long was activists in Canada, I believe, fighting to stop that oil pipeline going through native land? Like, this stuff still happens now, today. So even though this game was written and released a decade ago, the stuff that it's talking about is still incredibly relevant. And that's great. I'm great that this game still feels current in that kind of way. I really, really like that. I really, really like that. I also really enjoy how vibrant and unusual the HUDs are. We've now more recently we are in a world where people are really used to the likes of Persona 5's UI, and what that does in terms of graphic design. Persona 5's UI is genuinely beautiful. But I really like this game's approach to the kind of Y2K futurist aesthetic and how that's been updated for a really unique kind of color story. Ruben says, I love the romantic view of organized crime or people adjacent to organized crime upholding the peace instead of the actual state's forces. Yes. Let's actually, for the first time, make that a sub-bullet point. Individual gangs run the community and keep the peace instead of gov established lawmakers. But then with the amount of Yakuza both you and I have played, Ruben, that kind of theme, I guess, sticks out a lot. The characters in this game are specifically set as being separate to the Yakuza. But Yakuza as a game series, the way that Kazuma Kiryu and specifically Ichiban, especially Ichiban, the way that Ichiban behaves is so not actually like how actual organized crime Yakuza operate. Ichiban is specifically about raising consciousness of the homeless and trying to bring immigrant communities together to go fight corporate, like, corrupt governments. And dang, hell yeah. I think that game is text in a different way to this. I don't know why I'm gesturing off camera. I don't know why. I definitely acknowledge that the way that Yakuza Like a Dragon's text is different to DRAMAtical Murder's text, but I do think they're like relevant or related in a rather interesting way. Funny enough, it's kind of how that's kind of how it was where I lived when I was little. The gang boss was a nice guy and held my mom often when she was pregnant, keeping the territory safe for others. For sure, it's not unrealistic to actual organized crime, but it shows this latent need for organized communities capable of self-defense. Does it make sense? No, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And the fact that it's like the youth of the area, I think, is quite powerful. Like, I really enjoy how this game has the cast in its like early 20s. Aside from the fact that they all fuck each other, and so obviously them all being of consenting adult age internationally is great and important, because not all Erige decides to do that. The fact that they are adults and cognizantly separate themselves from being rowdy teenagers. They talk about being rowdy teenagers and that being a bad time in their life where they weren't making the right decisions, and now that they're older and wiser, they're looking after their community and each other more, and that's what I want, you know? Rowdy teens who then become more well-rounded adults who can look out for the rowdy teens of the next generation. That's so important. That's so important. You can't rely on conservative adults who haven't adapted to a political sea change to look after the current era in a healthy way. I mean, in Brazil, it's the gangs that are taking care of the people in the favelas with the pandemic going nuts when the government didn't do shit. Immediately relevant to common circumstances, you know. It's, and actually, genuinely, thank you so much, both Ruben and Sunel, for kind of being candid and engaging in this discussion. Even though I personally know that discussing politics in video games is really important, the way that Twitch is built and socialized is to very enthusiastically scrape off any discussion of politics of a particular video game, right? Because it's just about pulling funny faces at the camera and encouraging people to subscribe and shit like that. And that's great too. That's all fun. That's a lot of fun. But I like the fact that we can kind of take the time to both play a video game that has some interesting ideas and then take it seriously and then think about how it actually applies to our real world circumstances. That's fucking great. That's fucking great. When there's the last horny game that you played that made you have those kind of discussions? I tell you. But yeah, that's definitely one of the really, really strong things with the ideas to kind of take away. Aside from the kind of like aesthetic decisions, I think that's kind of like the strong points of it. I think politic talking games aren't separated and should be talked about more, but people are scared of it. Yes. I do realize that if I was blessed to have a bigger platform that people paid attention to on Twitch and was having this kind of discussion, I would have to be having moderators in the chat. I might have to put stuff on emote only mode and all sorts of nonsense to make sure that, not for my own safety, but the safety of the other people watching, you know, like the people who are taking the time to hang out with us don't need to see hate in chat. So I'm blessed that we can have this kind of discussion in a way that's safe and everybody can be involved and healthy. But yes, this is why I do Cyberpunk Book Club, because we can think about the games. There are kind of other discussions that this game kind of has. It definitely goes into further discussions about the rich-poor divide and what it means to keep the rich within a walled garden. But we're not going to be able to see that in the demo, even by the point that this demo like ends. We don't really see any of that, unfortunately. And there's also a lot of really interesting stuff about the digital self and personhood that comes in later into story arcs, as I recall. But that's also moving away from what we'd see in the demo. So I genuinely really encourage you, if you saw this, people who are watching now, people who are watching in the future, and you saw this and being like, man, this game has some fucking stuff to say. Please do get the demo. It's free on Steam. The demo is free on Steam. The full release may be sanitized for Steam. This is not confirmed. This is just general kind of like a rumor talking about it. But Just USA are available on Twitch, and they have already talked about how the game is available to buy within. Hang on, give me a second. I mean, Attack on Titan was a good way to show the rich-poor division early enough. I do, as I understand, there is some interesting things that Attack on Titan has to say about class divide, but there are other bits and pieces of Attack on Titan that are considerably more complicated, as I understand. I am not personally a big fan of like military jingoist stories, so when AOT came out, I watched the 5 episodes and saw them all get eaten by titans, and I'm like, that's the end of the storyline, and then didn't bother watching anymore, and I wasn't particularly interested in seeing where it went after that. But apparently the guy didn't lose his whole Korean fan base for nothing. Yes, there are the writer, as I understand, has some pretty unsubtle fascist leanings in how he approaches himself, and some of that definitely leaks into the way that the story is written, but also apparently there are some other bits in it that are complicated and worth people's time. But I'm not in a position to unpack that discussion, so I'm not going to comment on it too much, because there's a limited amount that I can really offer there. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and be like, here's where you can find more about obtaining the full version of Dramatical Murder, but what I can do is post in the Twitch doobly-doo. This is the link to the Steam page. It is being published by Just USA. Just USA have mostly a big library of like hentai visual novels, straight hentai visual novels, and there may be some more queer stuff in their lineup, but I don't think there is that much. It's coming to Steam for $20 and available on Just's own website for $25. And there's a limited edition, I think, physical release as well. The release date is still TBA, but I believe it's going to be releasing this summer. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There's nothing spicy on this page, so I believe I can link to it without having Twitch bonking me on the head for talking about horny. But the game's coming soon. Like all releases of indie games, and especially indie games that some people would rather not be localized, supporting the releases are an encouragement to other games coming out. There are some other queer visual novels on Steam. That's for sure. I don't think, to be candid, I'm not necessarily super invested in a video game like erotica. It's one of those things that I'm super glad that those kind of games super exist and we can tell that kind of story, but it's not what I am personally looking for. What got me onto Dramatical Murder was being shown the kind of like art style of the game and it being a cyberpunk piece of media I hadn't previously consumed and the character designs. And then as I played, I'm kind of like, oh, and there's also CGs, and that's nice. That's a fun time. But it's not really what I'm drawn to. Really, what I want more than anything else is games with queer casts that are not about romances. Like, romance isn't the lead genre of the game. They may fall in love with each other, but it's actually primarily like an action game or like a horror game or whatever. And actually, I think Dramatical Murder goes and checks that box quite handily. Like, the majority of the thrust of the game, of the narrative and about the world is about the, like, socio-political struggles that they're suffering from, and not whether Alba gets to smooch anybody, and that happens, like, incidentally. And I like that. I really, really like that they can have everybody be queer without it being the thrust of the storyline. Meaning, theoretically, you could go through the game without having to smooch anyone, and the game is still an interesting time, and that's nice. That's nice. Earlier this week, we played Nocia or Nocia. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Nocia, maybe. And that lets you, A, set your character's gender to non-binary, and B, there are 2 non-binary NPCs within the cast, and they're both really interestingly written. And that's great. You know, I've not seen that in... I actually can't even think of an example of another video game that had, like, pre-made characters. So not like a create your own character where you can make them non-binary, but like pre-made characters who are specifically non-binary, specifically use they, them pronouns. And it's not like some kind of edgy joke or... they're non-binary but people gender them anyway because it's funny or whatever, like, or they're not taking them seriously. There's none of that. I was really impressed with Nostia in that way, so I'm glad that I got to play like 3 earlier on. Earlier this week we played Read Only Memories Neurodiver, which as a sequel to Read Only Memories inherently has a very queer cast. So we actually played 3 Cyberpunk games this week that all had queer casts in them, and all 3 of them had the queerness entirely incidental to what the game's about. And isn't that just warms my gay little robot heart? It does. It does. Hustle Cat had a non-binary character. I believe it is a romancy game. I mean, that's fine. I will play a romancy game. I could probably stand to play some more and broaden my horizons if they're actually good. I'm planning on eventually making an adventure horror game kind of like that, but I don't know if it's going to be a visual novel or something like Left 4 Dead, Walking Dead. I mean, fair. Hey, if you do make a visual novel and you need a voice actor, Wagwan, what's good? I'll take on that work. You've been listening to me do voices without rehearsal for like the last 3 hours, so I mustn't be entirely terrible, right? Oh, actually, no. We'll chill after we actually finish the show. Let's do the show properly first. So we've had this discussion, and we like to wrap up with what is Cyberpunk to this game. And Cyberpunk to this game, I think, in my opinion, would be something along the lines of when the corporations inject themselves into your world and expect you to resign and vanish, working together with your community is essential, in my opinion. And I mean, you know, I am available. My Twitter immediately below at PhantomArtsEnt. That is where I do all my talking about the stuff that I make. You can find like my voice reel there. You can DM me if you want to get in contact with me that way. So yeah, you know, working with people is a thing I enjoy doing on creative projects like that, and I would love to do. Basically, that's the US government. Yes. I think the idea about corporations muscling their way into native land is something that is international. But goodness me, if it's not incredibly prevalent in like the way the US runs itself and behaves. If there was any reason for American audiences to go play dramatical murder, then I suppose. And that, on that note, to sidestep into some other stuff that's kind of going on in the world right now, in the world of the Neoncaster Twitch channel, I mentioned earlier that I have recently been doing voice acting. An audio drama that I've been taking part in. There is a words, excuse me, I've been talking for a while and my tongue is starting to go. There is a mobile video game. Shush. No. Silence, YouTube. There is a mobile video game series called War Robots. And recently, to expand the lore of the characters that take place in that game, they commissioned an audio drama from a British-based audio drama production studio, to which I voice one of the main characters in it, Arnav. It releases weekly, and you can listen to the first episode of it right here. I'm there. I play Arnav Poe. I am a tech nerd who pilots a giant robot who has a very strong emotional connection to the robot, and I don't know, it feels like a very inadvertent call-out post, that role casting, but I guess that means that I did the character really well. I'm super proud of how it turned out. It's a 6-parter. The first 2 are... good evening, Elfern. The first 2 are currently available, and I think the next episode will be releasing on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday next week. But it's a good time. I really, really enjoyed the show. So if you want to see more of my voice acting, especially when it's done professionally and, you know, in a proper sound-cancelled space and with all the shiny bells and whistles on it, do give that a look. I want to get into voice acting, but I'm so scared. I mean, shit, I got into voice acting by doing a ton of tabletop RPGs and then being like, no, I can do this in a more structured manner. So it's just about all art. And I think this is the thing that I kind of impart on a regular basis on this channel. All production of art is just about having the confidence to do the thing. It's truly punk to make something with your friends, knowing that you're not perfect at it yet, but still celebrating the fact that you all worked up the stones to do it anyway. There is nothing more punk in the world than that. Encouraging people to make art, even if they're not prepared, I think is incredibly important. And then, once you're creating the art and you enjoy creating the art, if you would like, you can go down the path and improving the art and gaining new ideas. I, as an artist, and I'm trying these days to call myself an artist and not a content creator, started out on the kind of punk thing, being like, I'm going to make tabletop RPG podcasts because I think that's cool. I know I'm not super experienced at yet, but making stuff is cool. I want to make a thing with my friends. And then as I've been doing that and be getting better and better and better at working at it, I'm now in the headspace of like, so what can I do to refine the art that I do to make it better? I want to start reaching for pinnacles of improving the nature of my art and learning new things. And that works for me. That's great for me. I'm glad that I'm pushing myself in that kind of way. But I think every so often I have to remind myself that that's great, but also the joy of learning a new art form and being bad at it and being okay with that is also magical, and encouraging people to go on that journey, even if I'm going on the stage 2 of that learning journey. You Pixie and my friend Tiffany are super motivating you getting voice acting for real. Hell yeah. I mean, like I say, just do the thing. Just do the thing. A lot of people who do voice acting refine their voices by doing what I've just done for the last 3 hours, which is play a video game and have fun voicing the characters. And you don't need to do it on air. you know, I'm doing it on air because that's a way to get me to practice it regularly, and I like to share the games that I'm playing with other people. But just the process of playing the video game and doing the funny voices makes you learn a real lot. You discover new voices. I discovered that I do this voice occasionally for some characters, and it seems to be pretty well fitting for somebody's a bit more gangster-like, even though I don't have a convincing American accent. So, you know, I learned a thing today. Doing it without reading text actually is slightly harder, but you know, I've discovered a new voice that I can do, and that's fantastic. I didn't know I was doing that before today. We've all learned a thing, and it's that experience, that process of voicing a character, you can learn all sorts of new things. So try it. Why not? The next time you play a game that's dialogue heavy, why not have fun doing that? Anyway, I've been talking for a really long fucking period of time, and I want to go and give my voice a rest. So let's go see who we can